Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page, baby. Every story got meaning. Every perspective shows. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a terrific Thursday. Make sure you tap that like button. Let everyone know that we are live. Also, if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cashapp, or buy a coffee. And those links are in the chat or the description field of this video. Also, this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Oh my goodness. I hope the detectives are ready. Make sure you get your whatever you have, a notepad, notebook, your pen, pencil. Child, we need all detectives reporting to the chat on today. Okay, this is definitely taking me out of my comfort zone on this case. Child, this is look, every case is something different. One case, I had to learn how to do FOIA requests. Another case, breaking down, what did we do? I forgot what was out of my comfort zone, the last case with Carmelo. This case, child, we learning about some weather science, science and boats and water, all of this, child. Look, okay, this is why they tell us in school, pay attention, because you never know when you're going to have to use that information. Y'all, this thing has taken a turn. More information has been released. And the more that things are being released, the more I'm starting to kind of line up some things, but also it's exposing some things that I don't know if Javon is being fully truthful about. Okay, he is one of the key people that keeps popping up for me for some reason. I know we have the boys in the boat and so forth, but we're going to take it back to some things that Javon stated in the beginning and try to line some things up, leading y'all to the time they're at Horn Island, okay? And then when they left and so forth. Now, we have some dispatch audio that we're going to listen to over the course of that night once Nolan's mother found out that he was missing, okay? We're going to also hear some dispatch audio from when they went to get the keys. And it's also, y'all, some things that in the actual dispatch audio is giving me some question marks, okay? I'm going to see what the detectives think about this. Then there's the GPS tracker info that has been released, and some people are a little bit confused on certain things with that. So hopefully during this live, we can clear some of that up. But y'all, Oh my goodness, my brain. I woke up, I said, "Ooh, this gonna take some thinking." Okay. This gonna take some thinking. So let's get into it. Let's see who we have here so far. Hey, Buttercup is in the building. Welcome, sis, and thank you for being first in the building. Hey, Verb, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Hey, T Smith. Welcome, sis. Let's see. Missy Lane is in the building. Hey, Tracy, good morning. My girl T Lady Boogie is in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Marie. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Shay Shay. Salute to you, Queen. She said, come on now, Verb. Get your notebooks and turn the page. Let's go. My sis Latte is in the building. Welcome, sis. I love you. Thank you so much. Hi, is it Hinata? Welcome. Good morning. Hey, Shamika, welcome. HGY said, OB, I saw the news video about the GPS data, but someone asked, why didn't they mention the movements of the boat after the 4th of July? One reason is there was a change in authority. Okay, and I wonder, was that purposeful? But we're going to see that, I think, in one of the articles I'm going to share. There was a change in who took over the investigation from that point, which it then transferred to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. So that info that we were getting from this department, the Marine, I forget the initials, that area ended there. That's why, because I did notice that. Hey, Roger, welcome. Good morning. Thank y'all for coming on in. Somebody asked, how is this malfunctioning boat doing all of this movement? Okay, we're going to get into that. Hey, Smiley, good morning. Queen Shailene is in the building. Okay, Nita said this is case is just sad and unjust. Exactly. Okay. Hey, Angel, good morning. Tabany, come on in, ladies. Nay, nay, phenomenal Scorpio. Welcome, Queen Zoe, KK. All right. I see everyone. Nurse AM. She said, good morning, Obi in chat. Driving to work. So I'm in the bushes, but listening. Have a blessed day. Justice for Nolan Wells, justice for Carmelo Anthony, and justice for Romika Meeks. You better say it. Thank you so much, Queen, to be safe. Greetings to the Queen. OG Patrice is in the building. Welcome. Verb said, OB, I saw someone who gave a pretty good interview. I think he might have been a former FBI person or something. Uh, okay, Verb, I'm gonna get that info to you because I can get it through my IG. That may be the best way. Coachable is all lying. Missy Lane, clock it. And let me tell y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it today. Hey, Teresa, welcome. But hi, Lakeisha. Uh, I was going through that interview with Javon and his mom from Laura Coates, right? And I noticed, y'all, on that interview when I went back, see, each time we go back to a video or something like that, we pick up something different. There were two times that I really keyed in on where Laura asked Javon specific questions. I noticed that Javon was not paying attention to the questions that Laura was asking. It was as if someone had a script written out for him that he was reading from. Because he never quite went into the details that he has gone into from the very first time. And when I say the very first time, I am referring to an article from the Sun Herald, okay, that I think a lot of people miss that article because not too many people brought that up. A lot of focus was on the picture with Nolan and the three boys, but a lot of people were not talking about that article. Now, Javon was out there during the search, okay, when they were looking for Nolan's body that Monday. Him and a friend by the name of Tracy Carter. So when I had seen Trayston Shepherd, I was like, that's interesting. We got a Tracy, and also a Trayston child. It's a lot of traces, okay? A lot of traces. And so I brought it up on my channel because I said, y'all, who are these guys? Because I'm not hearing too much about them, but it appears as though Javon was there as well. Now, Tracy said that he wasn't there, but before they left, he had told Nolan that he would see him later and to be safe, be careful, okay, to watch out and be careful. I was, wondering what sparked him to say that, because to me that was a random statement, but nonetheless it was out there. Okay, so we're going to look at that article because some people may have missed it. The reason why this is important, because y'all, one key question that I still have is, who did Javon ride with? Whose boat was Javon on? Because he stated, and we're going to get into this, that him and Nolan were supposed to ride on the same boat. So when they got to Horn Island, oh, and they couldn't because his boat filled up, right? So Nolan had to get on another boat. Well, whose boat did Nolan get on? So we already, because we're going to go back and map our way and come forward. Okay. So Javon appears to have rode on one boat, and I'm taking notes. So make sure y'all taking notes too. You can. And then Nolan allegedly rode on another boat. Okay. Now we're going to also see that Tristan was on a boat. Now, with some family and some people, because y'all, I didn't know about the fight. Tristan has done, well, one of his family members has kind of shared it with the Rolling Stones. I didn't know what the fight was about. Okay. But it appears as though they put some information into this article about the fight. Okay. And them getting him onto a boat. So who did Tristan, which was Javon's friend, whose boat was he on? Okay, was that the boat that Javon was on? Okay, and then we're going to also see that Javon and Nolan's phones were on the same boat at one time. Wait, what? But Javon was able to get his phone. Okay, excuse me. But then Nolan's had to be tracked. Y'all, it's going to be, this is why I need us to keep this clear in our minds, because it's going to be multiple, I feel, boats. We can't just focus on one boat. This thing will have multiple boats. Okay. Let's see here before we get into it. Javon's mom was given too much unnecessary information. Phenomenal Scorpio. I'm questioning some things that she said as well. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it's different. And I understand someone did say that, his mom is grieving and so forth. So her details may be a little off. Yeah, I understand that. But it's some statements that her sons are making that's not coinciding with what she's saying. Now, like I said, if I get to all of this other part, we may do it on this live. But if not, I'll break all of that down on another live, because her other son, Jalen, one of the sons that she called when she had Nolan's mom on the phone, he had made a post saying that he had missed. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up right quick because y'all, I don't want to forget, but I'm going to show y'all this. This was interesting. Okay. Now, this was Jalen on the 7th. Okay. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. It's all in the details, because it makes me question things when something's off in your post. He said, man, this is hard. On July 4th, my brother right here, Nolan Wells, was missing. That same day, I went out looking for him for hours. No sleep. That part right there stood out to me, because he said he was out looking for Nolan for hours the same day. Well, I thought Warren contacted Nolan's mother and shared that Nolan was missing. And that was around 11 something p.m. How was it that Jalen, one of the friends, had been out for hours looking for Nolan? How did he know Nolan was missing that day? I'm curious to know. And then you're saying you had no sleep that night. Wait, what? Now maybe the next few days, okay? But that day one, it was already about to go into the fifth. So I was a little like really wondering what's going on because y'all now we have to add that Javon's brother, was there too. Are y'all mapping this out? Okay. Are we mapping this out? Hey, Mama Magazine. Hey, Queen. So Jalen, the other brother, was there. Now the mom, y'all ain't want to get too deep into this right now, but now that we right here, the mom said that they weren't with her when Nolan's mother called her. Now, Nolan's mom in an interview has said that Tashima was with her boys. It didn't appear, though, that she was with them. Okay. She was calling them on three-way. Now, Jalen was with some other friend at some gas station. But why wasn't it stated that Jalen also knew that Nolan was missing and had allegedly been out looking for Nolan for hours? But his mother didn't find out that he was missing until that night. That's questionable. Okay. And I'm gonna bookmark this, but I wanted to put this on y'all's minds as we walk through this thing, because I'm gonna come back to that because of some other reasons. Okay, so I'm gonna take this down, but I wanted y'all to peep that play. She said, "Agree, no details at all." Okay, come on now. Right, Miss Elaine. Hey, Kim Michelle. Hey, Karen Michelle. She says Shell's up in the building. Okay, come on, sis. Thank you so much. I don't know, something about Javon and his mom is not right. He's lying, and the mom is looking like, you better not mess this up and make me look like a liar. Oh, and then y'all, the TMZ video that he did by himself, no longer there. Now, of course, people have already screenshotted it, done video, because we even did, excuse me, a video here on that video, right? So people have already talked about it, done their commentary and so forth. But if you go looking for it on YouTube, it's no longer there. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because she said she didn't give her permission for that. He's a minor. I don't know, child. But this last interview is giving coached, is giving scripted. Okay, because I picked up two times. Laura asked him certain questions and he stayed on a whole little script. He did not say some of the things that he stated in this article. Okay. All right. So let me pull up the article. Shout out to that girl, Henny. I'm going to share this from her Facebook because when I tried to go back into it was free. It was free around the fifth and sixth. Okay. Because I think I was reading from it on my channel. But had I known they were going to start charging, child, I would have just screenshotted. Okay. I'm not about to pay for no one article. No. So shout out to that girl, Henny. We're going to read the article that she has posted on his own mouth that he did. Okay. He did an interview with the Sun Herald. Now, my thing is, how come, and welcome everyone coming on in. I appreciate your support and y'all coming in. I may not can stop and speak with everyone, but welcome. Hey, Tim. Hey, Leah. I'm scrolling down trying to catch up, y'all. I'm behind. Okay. He has said, yeah, I've spoken to the Sun Herald. This is the day of the search. This is at the time that they had just found Nolan's body. These two guys were out there. Okay. The one on the left, his name is Tracy Carter. Okay. He's on the left. And then the one on the right is Javon Williams. So I don't know if they are close friends or what. But hey, they were both out there. Okay. I don't know why Tracy didn't go on the boat ride with everyone. But hey, nonetheless, he was out there, child. Okay. That day. All right. So it says Tracy Carter. Hold on one second.
I knew talking about Javon leaving his phone on the same boat as Nolan was going to ruffle a few.
Give me one second. I wasn't trying to share it like that. So I can pause it. Give me one moment. Thank you for your patience. This is something in this, okay? There was, okay, that was allegedly there too. And I'm curious to know, was that the actual grandmother there? Like that part confused me. So that would be another character in this that was here at this island when they were searching for Nolan. Okay. All right. It says Tracy Carter on the left and Javon Williams on the right were longtime friends of Nolan Xavier Wells, whose body searchers believe they recovered Monday morning. And I'm going to mute the sound. Monday morning off the western tip of Horn Island. The young men were among family and friends who comforted one another at the Lake Mars boat launch, where emergency responders staged search boats. Williams, who was also on Horn Island for the 4th, but on a different boat from Wells, visited with Wells shortly before he went missing. Okay, make sure you put that down. Now, several of the young men at the dock, they played ball with Wells in Ocean Springs. Football, basketball, baseball. You did put both of them on our list, right? Well, Kara Michelle, I don't know about the Tracy Carter one. He's saying it like he didn't go at all. You know, he texted Nolan allegedly before Nolan left. So I don't have him on there. I just point him out because he's on the picture with Javon. But definitely Javon, and it looks like Jay Lynn too. Okay, I'm putting him on there as well. And welcome everyone coming in. Okay, we are viewing an article from the Sun Herald where Javon and Tracy Carter did a partial little interview. But there's also a grandmother, Doris Hands. Now, I don't know if this is on their dad's side or their mom's mom that was there as well this particular day. Okay. So it says football, basketball, baseball, they played it all. After graduation, Wells played wide receiver for the Southwest Community College Bears. Doris Hands was a grandmother to the childhood friends. Like others, Wells called her Mama D. She said that he always gave her a hug and minded his manners. Okay. She said he was a good person, Hand said, loved sports, kind hearted. He would have celebrated his 19th birthday. Really, really hurt, said Hands, who has awaited word since Saturday evening when with after and she said I Island Saturday. Best friend, 17-year-old, just supposed to be on the same boat, but it filled up. Williams rode out on a different boat. I told y'all, let's clock it. We have another boat in the picture. Okay. Javon rode out on another boat, y'all, a different boat. But he saw Wells on the island. He believes he saw Wells for the last time after 4 p.m. on that Saturday. Now, Wells had visited with the girl, Williams said, but also chatted with other friends in the crowd. As soon as we got out there, Javon Williams said, he told me that he loved me. That was out of place for me right there for some reason. I don't know. Okay. He just said once they got out there, Nolan told him that he loved him. Okay. And then Wells always had Williams back. If somebody talked bad about Williams, Wells stuck up for his friend. Mm. Both young men, check this part out because key, men left their phones on the boat that Wells rode out on. Wait, wait a minute. Okay. Are y'all peeping this? It says both young men, Javon and Nolan, okay, left their phones on the same boat. The boat that Nolan rode out on. That boat. So how did Javon's phone get onto the other boat with Nolan's phone? Why is Javon not telling this info in his interviews? Okay. Why is he not saying, I left my phone on that boat too? Whichever boat Nolan came on, that's where Javon's phone was, and that's where Nolan's phone was at one point. That info should have been out there. Okay. Because y'all's phone. So to me, if you leave your phone on a boat, someone's boat, you have to be familiar with that person. I'm not about to just leave my phone out somewhere and on someone's boat, regardless of whether I'm swimming or not. I wouldn't just put my phone if I'm meeting up with some other friends. That means all of them knew everybody for you to be that comfortable to put your phone on the other boat. It had to have been someone that y'all were all comfortable with. Y'all's phones were on the same boat, the one that Nolan rode out on. Okay. Now, it said Javon Williams, he later retrieved his phone while Nolan Wells's mother found her son's phone through location services. What? So you were able to get your phone off that boat, and then Nolan's mom had to try to track his. Interesting. Now, it looks as though the grandmother was recounting that because it said hand said, okay? Now, Nolan was last seen near the western tip of Horn Island. Uh-oh, sorry.
I knew talking about Javon.
Wow, I hate when I do it like that. Let me rewind, y'all. Hold on. I hate when I hit it because then it goes. I like to pull it up in one format, not the short, because it'd be harder to see. Okay, hold on, because it's almost the last article, last part of the article. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Okay, so then here's the other part. Okay, so then he was seen near the western tip of Horn Island, okay, where the current is strong. Now, Tracy Carter talked to Wells before the island trip. Carter told Wells, just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself. Wells responded, I got you. I'll hit you up later. Now, I'm wondering, y'all, what even made Tracy say that? It's almost like he knew something. I'm not saying that he did, but for him to come out and just, it's 4th of July weekend. Most people are going out, having fun, and so forth. And then out of nowhere, you just randomly text him, just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself. Okay, that's a whole warning. So that made me curious, as far as did someone mention something? Had he heard anything through the grapevine or what for him to come out and say that? Okay, let me see, what are y'all saying? Okay, hey Tim, something I write about Javon and his mom. Okay, she said you were not his friend. Look at the fight footage between the two white kids on the island. Dude with the USA shorts is old kid in the pool pic. Oh, okay, Ian. I'll have to check that out and welcome. Narrative changing, or they got to them to cause confusion. T Lady, it could have been that. Maybe they, hey, said, look, y'all need to, because a lot of the focus is on this is not a racial thing, but we're losing when they come out, each time that they come out, we are losing some of this story. Okay. The background that there were two boats, allegedly. Javon came on one boat, Nolan came on one boat. Okay. And at one point, they both left their phones on the same boat, but Javon was actually able to get his phone. That's something to think about. Hey, Queen C, welcome. Telling you something is not right going on in an island in the middle of nowhere on a boat. Right. Then come up missing after he had a whole warning. Okay, right. This should have never happened. Hey, Sheila. So he gets his phone and didn't feel the need to call Nolan's mom about his phone. Right, Sheila. Something's not right with that. Okay. Something is not right. Yes, I agree. Shattered, not broken. Why are they talking to media and not to authorities? Jay said he hasn't been questioned. Exactly. Notice he gave this statement, y'all, while they were there. They were talking about this right when they found Nolan's body. Okay, but some people miss this detail. These are key details because that lets me know that even with the boat that Nolan came on, and I wanted to like preface what we're going to go into with this because we have to use our brains to think differently on some things. I believe Javon knew the people as well that Nolan was on the boat with. Okay, now we're going to hear today that that boat that Nolan allegedly was on went back to Biloxi, okay, to a home at Biloxi. So I want to know, Javon, okay, did you depart from Biloxi in one of those boats, or was it with, someone from Ocean Springs? Here's this though was on that whole picture, I think, when it came out, because that picture that went viral was really put out there. According to the mom, the girl sent her the picture to show the shorts color that Nolan had on. I think because we got that part first and not really mapped out a lot of these other details, the focus has just been on, not to say it should not be, but only that. But it's other key details that are important to keep in mind during this whole case that we cannot lose sight of. Okay, because it is a big piece to the whole puzzle, if that makes sense. Simply put, Nolan left the island beaten, nearly killed or killed, then dumped in water, leaving his phone and keys behind. Body washed ashore. Not complicated yet. It may be. Okay. The anonymous dude that said they were fighting and said to watch Tristan. Okay. Wow. That statement makes me think they had something planned before they got to the island. Phenomenal Scorpio, clock it. I don't know for sure. Okay. But it's very suspicious, right, Sheila? Like he knew something was about to go down. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. Backstabbers. Come on now. Hey, CDB, I noticed this, CDB, and I was going to bring that up when we go back into that interview. I noticed that, and I was like, "Am I looking at something wrong?" But it looked like she kind of nudged him on something. Okay, the phones and boats story a day late. Yes, yes, and this was the day his body was found. Hey, Shawana, yeah, you have to get all of your clues. Okay, let's see here. Ob, whatever happened to one of the first videos that came out with the voice making monkey sounds telling him to swim? I don't know. And I don't know if was that Nolan. I never found out if that was really Nolan in that video. Okay. So I don't know. I have seen that. But yeah, yeah. Hey, Miss Lady T. All right. So I wanted to first start there. Okay. So let me stop sharing that. All right. So the next thing I wanted to share, because I don't know, may have been in the clueless or out of the loop on this whole Tristan story and the fight that took place there. So let me share that article as well. Now, this was with the Rolling Stones. Okay. This was an article, and this gave us more details. Now, remember, Tristan is the one that came out and did an interview saying that he was in the viral video. Okay. Now, notice here, oh man, am I going to have to subscribe? I was just reading through it last night. Hold on, y'all, because this is another one. Hold on. Because this was interesting. Give me 1 second. They must give you one free read, child. Oh my gosh. My apologies. I should have looked this. I just pulled it up. I should have looked this morning to see if it was still free. Because that had a lot of shit. Oh, oh my gosh. I'm going to be so mad because it talked about the girlfriend, him and he was talking crazy to the girlfriend, and somebody because I'm assuming it was still there. Oh my God. Let me see. My some of the I'm looking for this. John and him and Hunter shushing his mom. Oh, okay. Yes, I think they did have a plan from the beginning that sacrificed baby. But it's kind of sound thinking I'm just I like to show people the actual interview Everyone, please hit that like button. Hey, Harlem Maid. That was another boy named Swim named Marquise. Oh, that was like, okay, here we go. Ooh, thank you. Oh my, that happens this morning. I guess after you get free, then they make it where you have to pay for it. Okay, long story short, because I don't want this to be the holdup of my whole life. But in this, now Trayston, he was on a boat, and you know how they get off into the water. Him and one of his girlfriends got into this altercation where he was saying some things to her that were not right, I guess, and it was, I guess, disrespectful. So another guy came out, and then he started uh, going back and forth with Trayston. Trayston really ramps it up and like starts to go off on this guy. Now, remember, Javon has stated that that was one of his other friends, okay, that he was talking about that had gotten into an altercation that up on, he said that that was not Nolan. Um, Even during Laura Coates, when she brings that up, now he said he was trying to hold him back, but then he was acting all like, well, if it sounds like him, I think it was him. I'm like, you were holding him back. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. If you were holding him back, you should know that it's him, right? So he says he got on the boat, and one of his family members corroborated that story with Rolling Stones that they were actually able to get him on the boat to try to get him out of there because his, I guess, attitude and anger was on a level that they did not want this to go. So they were leaving during that time. So Trayston was there, but he was on another boat with some of his family and friends. Okay, so you also have that boat there. So it made me wonder, did Javon ride that boat, ride down on that particular boat with Trayston and his family? And Nolan had to ride down with the other boys. Okay, so I don't know. If not, we have three different boats. That means that Trayston would have a boat with his family, Javon rode with someone, and then Nolan would have rode with someone. Okay, so those are different issues there. Let's see. Tim said, "Right, open book. That doesn't make sense." Exactly, y'all. These are details that I was like, this is key. Why are they not talking about this? Okay. They should have been talking about this part too, because this gives some background into some things. Like even when Trayston was on Good Morning America, okay, he never brought that up. He brought that up through Rolling Stones, that article. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. He never brought that up. Okay, let's see what are y'all saying. Okay, let's see. Missy Lane said, "You would be surprised of how many black people that will work with other people take you down." Okay, add up. The anonymous dude said, "Javon and Trayston lying. Please play it again." I don't know which anonymous dude you're talking about. I would have to do some research on that part. Javon know what it is. Yeah, I think he really does. Okay, I think he really does, but I think he's nervous to really put it out. Okay, so I brought those two situations up, leading now into this conversation with the GPS tracker and the dispatch calls, okay? Because y'all, there are other players that I'm hoping when they do the thorough investigation that they focus on all boats that had Nolan, okay, friend involved as well. Know the part that Javon's phone was also on the boat with Nolan's phone and all of that, okay? So let's get into it. Now, there's this video that I wanted to show from Plunder Studio. I think it's Plunder Videos. Let me see. But she has dispatch calls, actual calls that she did a FOIA request for, and we're going to hear sequence of events that were being released over dispatch. This was my first time hearing this on yesterday. Okay, so let's get into this. It's Plunder True Crime. I gave her channel a whole new name. So make sure y'all check her out, Plunder True Crime. Shout out to you for this audio. All right, let's go.
That's weird, but do we know if they shut down their social media because they were getting death threats? That's why we have to look deeper into what's really happening. And I'm glad one of Noah's best friends came out and spoke with TMZ. I don't think he was on the boat with him, though. But he's giving some insight and some color and background to this whole situation. But I don't know why it wouldn't require Coast Guard assistance. Of course, they might not have known he was in the water. Did people know he was in the water? We'll talk about the dangers of the island. Let's keep going. Whether that whole key situation, a male refusing to give a key to a woman and her daughter, whether that was related to Noah or not at 11:51 a.m., I don't know. And there's more situations. I won't give the exact address or anything. But this is what surprised me.
John out of X-ray 250, John out of X-ray 250. It should come back to the missing juvenile. Disregard the missing person.
My biggest business mistake, 10 apps to run my team. Now it's just connected.
So
Everything's in one place. It features live scheduling,
she's basically saying, look at this commercial. At 3:15, there was a dispatch call saying that there was a missing person. Okay. Now this next dispatch kind of goes with when the dad said that he was over to Jax's house to get Nolan's keys and his car, okay, because they ran the license plate. Okay, let's listen.
Okay, for return to Elmore 1, please.
Thank the Lord. At 3:15 a.m., I finally got confirmation of audio related to Noah. They read off a license plate, JX250. It should come back to the missing juvenile, the officer says at first. Then he says disregard the missing person.
John out of X-ray 250, John out of X-ray 250. It should come back to the missing juvenile. Disregard the missing person.
Okay, for return to Elmore 1, please.
Okay, why is this coming in at 3:15 a.m.? If Broadcastify has the correct time, these are all central times. If the parents met in the parking lot at midnight with the officer, why is it taking until 3 a.m., 3:15 a.m. to run Noah's license plate? The dispatcher says, yes, 10-4. It returns to Elmore Wansley, Ocean Springs. Now I get it, it's the middle of the night. I've listened to so much dispatch audio. I'm like, oh my goodness. So much of it sometimes is so mumbled. I understand sometimes they're speaking softly because they know the officer might have the radio up. They want to say the codes. They don't want to say things that might upset others. But she's just like, yes, it returns to Elmore Wansley, Ocean Springs. I was like, oh my goodness. But anyway, thank God. Okay, that was my confirmation. All the other stuff when I heard, oh, missing person reported, and I searched the house and I was trying to connect it somehow to Nolan and his friends, and it just wouldn't connect. And I was thinking, okay, that might not be him. Maybe that's that other missing little boy. But this finally, 3:15 a.m., Noah Wells' license plate, yes, it returns to his dad, Elmore Wansley, Ocean Springs. 10 minutes later, 3:25 a.m. approximately, these are approximate times. We get the half an hour chunks of audio we can download because I pay for the premium so I can go get the archives. 3:25 a.m. Has the missing person been recovered? Negative. Ugh.
32. Has the missing person been recovered?
Audio.
Negative.
True crime audio.
Copy.
True
PD.
crime
Call
audio.
County Dispatch. Can we have further information that DMR and the Coast Guard are actively searching?
Then it sounds like they get a little serious. Copy. I'm not saying they weren't serious before, but I was truly surprised that it took until 3:15
Wow.
a.m. for me to find audio directly connected with Nolan Xavier Wells. And what's up with the Coast Guard saying it didn't require their assistance? Heaven forbid if I was on some island and then whether my friends left me in some kind of state or whether I just said go ahead and then you're just still out there and it's dark and it's like, oh, we don't know where he is, but we don't need the Coast Guard. I mean, if you don't know where he is, how do you know you don't need the Coast Guard? Anyway, once this person heard, okay, the missing person has not been recovered, negative, copy, PD, call County Dispatch. Can we have further information that DMR, Department of Marine Resources, and the Coast Guard are actively searching? So they're trying to get confirmation at 3:25 a.m. That's what gets me. It is more than 12 hours. It is about 12 hours since Nolan Xavier Wells has been seen by anyone. And
Now that's a good point right there. Okay. Because most of them are saying between 4:30, that they're saying that they last saw Nolan. Okay. Now remember, Christine, Nolan's mom, said that she got the phone call from Warren, but that wasn't until 11. How did they not know that he was missing? Okay. If they were allegedly with him, that's questionable. So between 11 something and 3 something that morning, July 5th, now we're on July 5th, that's when things started kind of getting a little more serious. And the dispatcher is like, okay, we need some confirmation that y'all are really looking for this person because clearly that person has not been found. Okay, so now they're trying to get involved. But they confirmed Javon on boat with Nolan. Jalen's complicit behavior, real facts, perceptions, and possibilities make for a true murder to be solved. That's good. Okay, that's so good. Hey, Monroe, welcome.
then that's when, of course, Jackson County didn't know about it until I don't know when they knew about it because here's another red flag. There's so many red flags, let me tell you. I'm kind of like, now I know we're working with only a few puzzle pieces, and once all the pieces come together, we'll know more. So I don't like to jump to conclusions. But it's 3:25 a.m. and they're like, okay, has the missing person been recovered? Negative. Copy. PD, call County Dispatch. Can we have further information that DMR and the Coast Guard are actively searching? Middle of the night, okay, he hasn't been seen in 12 hours. Is the Coast Guard actively searching? Then I later hear more that I'm pretty sure 99% would be related to Noah because it says the parents came and picked up the vehicle from the house that he spent the night at.
The parents came and picked up the vehicle of the house that he spent the night at in the Prius. There will just notate that in the CAD. Also, he's been out here since, he says about 02:30 is when he initially called him. I know we got the call a little later, but just notate that as well.
10-4.
Was he just walking around?
Whoa. What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just.
And it sounds like he says, and the Prius at the end, but I couldn't confirm whether Nolan drove a Prius or not. If you know affirmatively, please leave a comment.
Just notate that in the CAD. Also, he's been out here since, he says, about 02:30 is when he initially called him. I know we got the call a little later, but just notate that as well.
So that was confusing too on the timing of all of that. So allegedly he had been over there since 2:30 a.m. That morning, okay, like July 5th. And then when he initially called, but they said that they got the call a little later than that. Like, I thought all of this stuff was tracked. What do you mean you got it later than that? He said one time, and then y'all are saying that you got it a little later. That was confusing too.
This guy speaking says, notate that in the CAD. I almost want to call it the CYA. But the CAD report is, hopefully something I'll get. I request it. It's like when you request 911 calls and all that stuff, and then you see like when the person called dispatch, all the stuff they said, it's like, the CAD report. But this guy says also he's been out there. He says about 02:30. Who says he's been out there since 02:30? That's 2:30 a.m. At first I thought, is this the guy, one of Nolan's friends, who reported him out there since 02:30? Like,
Thank
who
you,
said
Phenomenal.
that? Or was that his dad saying? I don't know who he's talking about. But that's 2:30 a.m. I thought at first he was saying, make a note,
Thank you,
the last time Nolan was seen was around 3 p.m. But then I was like, no, he's speaking in military time. It's July 5th. He's been out here since he says about 02:30 a.m. is when he initially called him. I don't know who called who, but he says, I know we got the call a little later. Just notate that as well. So this guy wants the dispatcher to put in her CAD report, we were called about this after 2:30 a.m. And I'm like, what? Didn't Christine make the missing persons report, around midnight? What is happening here? It's like, it's not funny. It's horribly sad. I just want clarity. I want clarity. I don't want anyone to go after anyone.
Now, she also noted previously in this video, I didn't get a chance to play that part, that there was not a dispatch call, she said, that she's heard yet from his mom. So she didn't hear dispatch call from that. So I don't know. But she's also wondering now about the timeline of all of this.
People need to be arrested. We pray to God in Jesus. We will see some arrests. Maybe by the time I edit and publish this. I don't know. We haven't seen any of those interviews. They haven't released anything. Oh, the snail mail. We'll get there, let me tell you. Okay, so now it's Sunday, July 5th, and there's this updated press release from the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. They say, we're currently in search of a missing person, Nolan Xavier Wells. He's described as an 18-year-old Black male, approximately 6 feet 1 inches tall, weighing 180 pounds. He was last seen on Horn Island wearing blue, not black, as previously mentioned swim trunks. So who told them in the first place his trunks were black? And was that misdirection intended to be that?
Okay, there we go. They had originally said that his trunks were black. Okay, then let's think about what his mom said. That's when the girl that she spoke with sent a picture, the viral picture, showing that he was in blue trunks. Okay, but who put that out about the black? We still don't know that. Who are all these people contacting them? They should have a trace of the phone numbers and all of that.
Way, I don't know. Nolan's mom says a girl sent her a photo, that famous photo we've seen. He has like, I guess, a red necklace on. He's shirtless, Nolan, and he has on blue trunks, not black trunks. She was like, Miss Christine, I want you to see what he was wearing. It wasn't black swim trunks. So maybe someone just got it wrong, whatever. Some people are colorblind, but some people, did they intentionally try to misdirect? So he had on sunglasses, no shirt. Is that how he was walking around the island later that night? Did he not have a shirt anywhere with him? I mean, doesn't it? I know it's pretty hot down there, I'm sure, but doesn't it get colder a little bit at night? How long did he plan on staying? What the heck happened? Did he really have an argument with anyone or no? The Jackson County Sheriff's Department is
Now, one thing too, I've brought that question up. Where were Nolan's things? Like the things that he brought to Horn Island. If they were there, we're going to see on the GPS tracker, allegedly since that morning, 11 something that morning, and people are seeing him for the last time, like 3 something, 4 p.m., then that's a whole day, right? So there are no stores or anything on Horn Island. Whatever you bring is what you have. So where are the rest of his things, like change of clothes, food? Anything he brought, a cooler. We are only hearing about a phone and possible keys that were left at a house, right? So where are the rest of his things? That's another
currently
question.
searching Horn Island with the assistance of the Department of Marine Resources, DMR, the Gulf Islands National Seashore. I don't know if I FOIA'd them now. I'm going to do that as soon as I get off of here. And the U.S. Coast Guard. Jackson County Sheriff's Department is reestablishing their command post. That's what they did at the Lake Mars boat launch in Ocean Springs. They were provided the photo of Nolan at Horn Island on July 4th. Anybody, they're like, look, if you talk with him, if you have any info, I'm sure they're getting tons of, hopefully, evidence. The police want unedited, just raw videos, anything that would help, even if you think it won't. It says at 12:26 p.m., the Coast Guard Sector Mobile said it received a request for assistance from JCSO in search of a missing person in the vicinity of Horn Island. 12:26 p.m. when? July 5th afternoon? That's when the Coast Guard got a request for assistance? I mean,
That's what came out, that it was the next day, almost 24 hours later. Okay. So I heard the same thing as well, that I was like, wait a minute, they didn't get the Coast Guard involved until the next day, midday. Okay. So that's something else to note. Some of this going back and forth. Oh, we made an error. There was a call and so forth. Come on now. Okay. Because originally it was midday the next day. She said it makes no sense. They could have thrown that overboard, all of his belongings, when they did his body the same way. Possibly. Okay. Yeah, we heard it right the first time.
I don't know, that's what it says, but I'm like, what? The Coast Guard said an urgent marine info broadcast was issued. A helicopter was sent to search the area. I'm just not understanding. I think I'm confused because I'm used to going through, getting the dispatch audio. As soon as they hear a missing person is there, and if it's just kind of one jurisdiction, things kind of pick up. And I was like, am I even on the right feed archive? Do they just encrypt everything? Do they go silent? I was like, where is all the audio of like searching for Nolan? And it seemed like it never really popped off from what I could hear from the JCSO.
Now, this is giving the vibes that with Carmelo's case, how they weren't putting a lot of things on the docket prior to the trial. It's like they weren't taking it seriously. They weren't updating anything. It's giving those vibes that she's not hearing anything really relating to Nolan on this dispatch. Like they were seriously searching. Okay, things did not really start picking up until the next day. Why is that? Okay, we have a young man who was allegedly missing, but hey, I'm still trying to figure out why no one thought he was missing since 4 o'clock. Oh, but Jalen, okay, Javon's brother said he knew he was missing. He was out looking for hours. Okay, we're not hearing too much about that. So how did he think that Nolan was missing on the 4th and he had been searching for hours? At what point? Was it after 4 something? That's what I've been screaming. They got their buddies, the Cajun Navy instead of the Coast Guard. All of them boat owners know each other and are in boat clubs. Oh, yes, I agree. I agree, Ian. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are lying on some of this, but it's coming out.
Couldn't hear Coast Guard. I couldn't hear the others, but it looked like the Coast Guard was probably doing nothing because they were kind of told to stand down or something. I don't get it. If by midnight JCSO knew from the parents, Nolan never made it back from that island. I mean, heaven forbid, as a mom, you want to move heaven and earth, at dad, everyone. You'd be like, put the planes, the drones in the air. Like his dad said, look, if I had a boat, I would have been out there. He would have been out there at midnight, I'm sure, with a big old flashlight, like in the water, searching for his son, and on the island, I'm sure. It says at 12:31 p.m., JCSO issued a presser saying it was searching for Nolan, the 18-year-old. By Monday, July 6th, the sad news: the United Cajun Navy aircraft took to the air just before 6 a.m. Monday, so that's good. They were up there. Search boats were deployed again, and I might have to put the rest of this, whatever audio I find for the search and rescue or the recovery, I'll put that in separate episodes. You can imagine how long it took me to even go and listen from like 10 p.m. on July 4th all the way till like 5 a.m. What's that, like 7 hours worth of audio, digging through. Of course, there's some dead spaces, but still digging through and trying to figure out what's pertinent, what's not related to Nolan, confirm that which is related to Nolan. So the search boats were out there again. This is Monday, July 6th. Last vessels leaving just before 8 a.m. Around 8:45 a.m., Sheriff Ledbetter confirmed authorities got a call reporting a body found at the northwestern tip of Horn Island. The body was discovered by a U.S. Park Service ranger. So Noah's family was asked to come down to the Lake Mars boat launch, and they were met by the sheriff and the coroner. Just after 11 a.m., the family was taken to the coroner's office, and they had to identify their son's body. Just before 1 p.m., Noah's family confirmed his death on social media. His mother posted on Facebook he was found.
Now, did y'all hear that? She stated that the family went to the coroner's office. So I believe that they've seen his body. Okay. I remember earlier reports saying that they were trying to get DNA to just confirm for sure, but she said the family went to the coroner's office. And remember when Javon and Tracy was out there, and the news station, his name I think is Wilson, he was one of the local reporters there. He could not put the camera in the family's direction. They had asked, don't put the camera over that way. But you could see the coroner's truck out there and all of that as he panned the scene. So they've seen his body. I'm not understanding why it's being said. No, hey, I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know why it switched, y'all. I'm just calling out things because then it was like when Ben Crump came out, he was saying that like they had not seen his body and he had to be identified with dental records. But I do remember in the beginning, it was stated that, they were using DNA. So I was thinking from the parents to just make sure it's the same young man and that the parents had gone to, they were out there when they actually found his body. You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't they see his body? I was confused by that when Ben brought that up. I just been waiting to hear what's what, but it seems like they've already seen his body. Let's see. I don't know if that's true or not, but when you drink and you do get crazy. But yet the dad never found Nolan's body, but it showed up. Yes, I was just waiting for her to say dental records, right? So I don't know if his body was unrecognizable. Yeah, I heard she had not seen his body. Maybe they're trying to hide it so the kids don't know she has seen how bad it was. And that, I don't know. I was shocked to hear this yesterday. I had sent a message. I said to someone, I said, wait a second. Did you hear the same thing in this video that I heard? Because she said the mom and family went to the coroner's office. Hey, LaShondra. The devil, aka kind hates the most high. Yes. It's given, let's just call because never think it would get this far. Why are the Coast Guards being told to stand down? Right. Tracy said the parents ID'd the body, then why dental records? Now, someone said, I don't know how true this is, they said the dental records could have been because of the death certificate portion they're about to see it this definitely before a funeral. You know, the family goes to select the outfit and they go to the funeral home because I believe his body is already at the funeral home. The reason I believe his body is at the funeral home is the funeral home posted the same flyer. I saw that before I saw it on his mom's page. So if they had seen his body, they can now. If it's at the funeral home. So I'm just wondering, y'all. I mean, that was confusing to me because we've been hearing of this fact. I know what I heard in the beginning. But then when he said that, it shocked me. I was like, wait, what? They haven't seen his body? But then it's coming up again that they had gone to the coroner's office. Remember, they tried to say marine wildlife and drowning to explain the damage to his body. Just because they went to the office, it doesn't necessarily mean they could see the body, possibly. I don't know. They're going to see it this week. Definitely before a funeral. I've heard that, LaShondra, but I don't know that to be fact. The moment she saw him coming out of where they found him, okay, play it again. They said marina wildlife. Let me play that little portion.
Episodes, you can imagine how long it took me to even go and listen from like 10 p.m. on July 4th all the way till like 5 a.m. What's that, like 7 hours worth of audio, digging through. Of course, there's some dead spaces, but still digging through and trying to figure out what's pertinent, what's not related to Nolan, confirm that which is related to Nolan. So the search boats were out there again. This is Monday, July 6th. Last vessels leaving just before 8 a.m. Around 8:45 a.m., Sheriff Ledbetter confirmed authorities got a call reporting a body found at the northwestern tip of Horn Island. The body was discovered by a U.S. Park Service ranger. So Noah's family was asked to come down to the Lake Mars boat launch, and they were met by the sheriff and the coroner.
It was to 6.
Just after 11 a.m., the family was taken to the coroner's office, and they had to identify their son's body. Just before 1 p.m., Noah's family confirmed his death on social media. His mother posted on Facebook he was found. It's horrible. And so July 8th, the Jackson County Sheriff's Department posted this update around 12:11 p.m. They were continually still searching at that point, but they did, beg for anybody who interacted with him, saw him, anything. They want the original unedited photos, videos, taken, and that northwest tip of Horn Island, everything July 4th, particularly anything they're saying of this alleged altercation or images they believe include Noah. They're saying, we want the original media because that could have critical details. If you observed or overheard, ear witness, eyewitness, whatever, an argument, a disturbance, other unusual activity while you were on the island that day, even info you don't think is important could prove valuable to investigators. So the first-hand knowledge people come forward, not those who are like, oh, I think, that's the thing. I don't know. You see people saying all this stuff on Facebook, but you're like, okay, was that really Nolan? Or, anyway, it's an active investigation. In Horn Island, I did look up drownings and danger. It has notoriously strong currents. The barrier islands off of Mississippi have a long history of dangerous, unpredictable currents. There are high-risk zones, and they're particularly intense around the tips of the island. The northwestern and eastern ends are subject to rapid tidal shifts and strong rip currents that can easily overpower even experienced swimmers and athletes. So I get it. Some people are immediately going to foul play because they're like, oh, he's a great swimmer. Don't, assume all Black people can't swim. I love the water.
This is from Plunder True Crime.
To swim. But, I have a healthy respect for God and the ocean. Like I just got back from Ocean City and the waves, Ocean City, Maryland, and the waves were there. I mean, I was not going to disrespect those waves, I was like, we can't think we're invincible, but it is annoying. Alcohol, we know, and water don't mix. Thank God I didn't drown one time. Whew, Michigan City, Indiana. That was crazy. Drinking, our friends dropped us off this boat and we jumped in and, I'm swimming on my back. Just after we got off the boat and we jumped in the water to swim to shore because it wasn't like a dock. they said our friends were like, oh, wait a minute, we dropped you too far from shore. But we had already jumped in the water and were swimming back. And so I was swimming back, and like, you know how the wake from a boat, like there were waves that went.
Okay. I think that was all that I wanted to show from that clip. Shout out to Plunder True Crime for that dispatch audio. Right, love and happiness, that's confusing. Okay. Yes, I did hear that. It changed from the convention center. And some people are alleging that it could have been due to the price that they were trying to charge them. You know, once people see you making a lot of money on GoFundMe, child, they raise the price. Oh, you got it. Okay. That's not fair. What would you normally charge me? Okay. So I know with that, if it's a huge event, though, you still have to pay police officers security. That I don't. That started, equating to the dollar amount. I don't know, John. We know about currents, but for them to blame it on the current, no, this was no current. They did something. Okay. Always assume you can't swim is right. That's true. I give the family a lot of credit because I don't have the wherewithal to not hurt whoever was last with my child. Come on now. If that was my child, I would keep the casket open so the world could see what they did to my child. Like Emmett Till's mom, there were no drownings. So what happened to Nolan? Yeah, we were waiting to see these autopsy results. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next audio. Okay. So there is now, am I breaking up? Am I a little better? Put a 1 if y'all can hear me better. What's the new GoFundMe? Let's see. I hadn't just looked at it. Okay, thank you, LaShondra. Let's see here. So far, the GoFundMe has raised $704,897, and I know this newest goal is $750,000. Praise the Lord for that. The Lord is blessing. Also, let's keep his mother lifted in prayer. She said about 3 hours ago, the grief I had when I lost my mama and the grief I'm feeling now are so different. This current grief feels unsurmountable. When I say we are taking it second by second, I mean that. As the funeral inches closer, my thoughts turn to what are things I can do to help myself and my family through this tragedy, and I just don't know. Please continue to lift us up in prayer. And that's true. I mean, it's one bond between a mom and a child. That's one bond that makes it feel like you're going to get taken out of here too. And then there's another bond between a mother and a child the other way. You see what I'm saying? So losing a parent as a child, that's hard. But then imagine being a parent and losing your child. That's a different thing there. Let's see here. Shout out to Zoe. Thank you for the finger heart. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a sponsor. Also, y'all, they are saying the color that they are going with is blue. Okay, so if we want to today, we get off, drop blue hearts because that is the color for Nolan for the funeral. So that's another update. And yeah. So those are the latest updates from his mother. Okay. All right. So let's share this newest audio of asking for help. Okay, this is from NBC News.
On the moments before some of Nolan Wells' friends left Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi. A mom of one of the friends last week said the group left without Nolan when their boat began malfunctioning.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
NBC News has obtained audio as part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody talks to it.
Nolan went to the island in a boat with friends on July 4th. His body was found 2 days later. It's unclear whether Nolan was with anyone when he disappeared. This as the search for answers in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells continues. His family's attorneys saying they'll now work side by side with investigators to analyze Nolan's cell phone.
So everybody will be able to see at the same time what the cell phone has.
Nolan's parents previously said they believe content may have been deleted from the phone. The case will be presented to a Mississippi grand jury once the investigation is complete. The local district attorney telling NBC News that's a standard practice for cases with an unknown cause of death and not an indication that a crime was committed. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter says his team has interviewed several witnesses and is working to get answers for the family. Do you feel like you're getting useful information that's been helpful to figuring out what happened?
Yes, sir. We're getting very useful information, and we appreciate the public coming forward with what they've had, and we don't want them to be hesitant.
Today, the family met with the district attorney for more than an hour.
It was just a meeting where she talked about the process. She didn't tell us any information about the investigation. We're trying to get to those answers.
As tonight, Nolan's family prepares to hold his funeral next week.
He would not want us to be sitting around crying and eating. And so what we're going to do is kind of have a party to celebrate him.
Tom, the state and independent autopsy results are not back yet. The family attorney says he does plan to release those details when he has them. Tom?
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch.
So that was one audio saying that they needed help. Remember the bowel pump, I guess it's called, the bowel pump went out, and that was an audio, and they asked them, was everyone on board? And they said yes. So with that, if someone had gone overboard, hopefully that would have been a time to say something, okay? So this audio has been released showing that, because I guess people were saying, well, if they needed help, wouldn't they have called? So this was also out of like a random audio to me for some reason. Do not let your child or adult go on vacation. They're not ready and it's not safe. You have to be there with them and protect them. No island is safe, and travel just isn't alone. Yeah, when you're alone, sometimes you do need like a partner or a group or someone that you trust, okay? Ben Crump was saying because of the condition of the body, not sure if the mom wanted to see him in that condition because of sharks, etc. Yeah, I don't know. It's just strange when we heard that. I was like, so they did go to the coroner's office, but maybe, dad went in. I'm not sure. That was questionable. Okay. So based off of that audio, they did contact them for help. Okay. Now in this article, let's get into this whole GPS data tracking with the boat, y'all. Oh my goodness. All right, so GPS data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources obtained by CBS News tracks the movements of the boat that carried Nolan Wells to Horn Island on July 4th. Now, Wells was found dead after going missing following an outing on the island. Now, in this article, one thing they don't mention is whose boat was it, okay? According to GPS data, the boat left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. Oh, wait, I didn't skip the whole paragraph. I'm sorry. The vessel left a dock at approximately 5:56 a.m. morning, arrived Island at 11:14 a.m. CBS News has previously reported that Wells was not on the boat when it departed the island. Now, according to the GPS data, the boat left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m. and returned to its original departure dock. It then traveled into Fort Bayo around 5:52 p.m. before returning to the dock at 6:06 p.m. Later that evening, the boat went to the Fort Bayo boat launch at 7:19 p.m. According to the over land, presumably toward to the Biloxi, Mississippi, residence of the boat's owners. The DMR report indicates that the boat's owner, his mother, and one other individual who was reportedly with Wills on the day of the incident had with the investigation. Okay. It says the boat's owner and his mother. So I guess is the boat in one of the boys' names? And then another individual. They haven't said any names. The department's report is on July 5th following notification that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office would take over as the lead investigative agency. So that's why it was no longer tracked after July 5th, because the authority took over, okay? The Jackson County Sheriff's Department. They took over that investigation. Wells, 18, was last seen on July 4th on Horn Island, where he had taken a boat trip with friends to celebrate the holiday, officials said. Wells traveled to the island with his friends, but did not return to the mainland with them that afternoon. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter has said, okay? Then he was last seen on the island at 3 p.m., according to attorney Ben Crump's office. His mother reported him missing later that night, and the search began. His body was discovered July 6th off the coast of, of the island, which is about 10 miles south of the Mississippi mainland, following a search that involved the U.S. Coast Guard, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, and the National Park Service. Remember, I said yesterday that the National Park Service, they have, because it's federally owned land, they have primary authority over that area. Dental records confirmed the body was Wells. Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lynn, we talked about him the other day, had told CBS News. An autopsy took place on July 7th, but the results not immediately made public. Wells's body was flown to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy, according to Crump. Wells' parents have said they don't believe their son would have stayed behind on the island by choice when his friends left by boat. No, he wouldn't. Nolan always stays with the group. Okay, that's what his father said. If you be with me, you come back with me. So that I don't understand. And with me being a parent, if I was in that situation, I would have told them, you're going to get back on this boat with me because I don't want to answer to your parents if something happens to you. Now, a couple of things, okay? Being that we talked about there being multiple boats in the beginning, let's go back to that thinking. All right. And at one point, Javon's phone was on a boat with Nolan, the same boat. Now, one thing that I was thinking about when it comes to the boats, because remember when Javon said he was going to check on Nolan, okay? And when he went to check on Nolan, and I'm still trying to figure out, check on him like what? Okay, what had happened? So something involved Nolan where he felt the need to go and check on him. He said that the boat was gone. Now, is it possible, we just, throwing this out here, y'all, since Javon was still left there, is it possible that because they weren't in that same boat, that he thought he was riding back with Javon? For the simple fact that they were supposed to be riding there together anyways. Remember in the beginning, they were supposed to get to Horn Island together. I'm still trying to figure out, how was Javon getting there? Whose boat was Javon on? Okay. But he said the boat filled up, and so Nolan had to get on another boat. Okay, still trying to figure out, y'all go with me, whose boat was that? Now, we also have a third boat, Trayston. Trayston was there as well. Okay, his family, they were getting into arguments and things. They putting him back on the boat. Now, at what point, oh, this is another point I want to make. So being that others are saying that Nolan allegedly said he wanted to stay behind, is it possible that Nolan could have still gotten a ride back with Javon, whoever's boat he was on? His friend was still there. One of his friends, because I'm not believing the girl Katie that, oh, he's just meeting this girl. His mama doesn't even know her like that he gonna stay with a girl. No, if you're gonna stay behind, you're gonna make sure you have a way back to your location, child. Okay, because you can't just get in the car and say, I'm going home. You have to have someone there with the boat. So if Javon was out there, and this is someone he grew up with on another boat, because remember, hey, they were supposed to be coming together. Could he have thought that he was going back with Javon at one point? This is just I'm putting out here, y'all, because I'm trying to just think this through. Okay, I'm not saying this is fact. We're just thinking out loud. Because I'm wondering, at what point did Javon go back to get his phone, and his phone and Nolan's phone were on the same boat? Why is it that his mom had to track his phone? Okay. Now, remember his mom said the Life 360 whole thing. Okay. His mom had brought that up, and she said when she called her friend Tashima, okay, when she had called her friend Tashima was with her boys. Now, we come to see during this interview with Laura Coates that Tashima was not with her boys. She had to contact them. Now, Javon, it seems as though left out a lot of information, or I don't know if mama just not telling it all, but it seems as though when she contacted Javon, he left out a lot of information as far as them supposed to ride on the same boat together. At one point, their phones were on the same boat, that there was possibly an alleged altercation where Nolan was arguing with someone. All of that would have been important for Christine to find out while she was on the phone. Then we cue in this post here from Jalen, Javon's brother. And he's saying that on July 4th, he said, my brother here, Nolan Wells, was missing. He said that same day, I went out looking for him for hours. Well, how are you out looking for him for hours if his own mama did not know that he was missing until 11 something that night? Okay. Now, another question that I've had, and I've been posed a question, but I don't think nobody has really been paying attention to it, is I was wondering, now, of course, Christine, maybe they're really close. She just wanted some help. Now, she says she had been seeing Nolan's phone on land all over the place. She contacted Tashima for some reason, and Tashima reached out to Javon. Now, it looks as though Christine felt the phone was at one location, but then they said, no, that's not right. It's at another location based off of the Snapchat, okay? Based off of the Snapchat map, okay? It was showing a different location, Okay, are y'all with me? Let me see. Yes, Love and Happiness. He's the one that talked to TMZ. Okay. Now, let me show y'all some information I found about that. We're going to get to this whole tracker thing too, because I have some info with that too. But let's go here because this is a huge question mark for me, because I was like, why would Life 360 show one location? Let me move this off. And he's saying that the Snapchat, for those of you who are not well versed in this, like I am, okay, I'm not well versed in how Snapchat and all of that works, okay, I needed to look this up because I wanted to know, why is it that they were showing different locations, okay? Now, these are some possible reasons. The update frequency, Life 360 updates more frequently when driving or moving, okay? Snapchat usually updates only when the app is opened or running in the background. So that means that with his phone, it either had enough juice to have the app operating in the background, or some had opened up his Snapchat and it clocked his location. GPS accuracy. Now, Life 360 is designed for continuous family tracking. Snapchat is designed for social sharing, not continuous tracking. Background permissions. It usually requires always allow location on Life 360. With Snapchat, often works with only while using the app. Unless background access is enabled. Now, I go back to, if they have been on the island all of that time, okay, then did he have a chance to charge up his phone, child? Okay, now some phones can last a long time, but child, that has been since that morning at 11 something that morning all the way to 11 something that night. Was it still the charge? Okay, for it to be operating in the background. Let's see. Hannah said, wow, I wonder if it is different from iPhone tracking. I don't know. Shamika says, these kids know something. Tashima said, Javon said, you're kidding me, when she said Nolan was missing. In my mind, he knew they were supposed to be together on the same boat. Ooh, okay. 360 tracking Nolan's phone while he's in the water bed by now, my opinion. Oh, okay. They can, and some lose quicker. Right. Now, battery saving. Life 360 may continue tracking. Snapchat may stop updating when the phone sleeps or the battery saver is on. Internet connections can sometimes estimate location between updates. Well, Snapchat, it needs a good data Wi-Fi connection to upload a new location. Now, according to Tashima, they were able to retrieve his phone from Wyatt, which was somewhere where it took a long time for him to get, okay, tracking that to Wyatt's house. Now, he said some girl was going to get the phone. So I was like, some girl's going to get the phone. I mean, was it when y'all came up to the house, was the car wherever? Because it was supposedly in Wyatt's truck. Was it parked out front? Okay. And then some people said, well, possibly it could have been in a garage. I don't know, but it took them a while to go and get it, allegedly. Now, some common scenarios. Snapchat could be behind, okay? Well, in this particular one, it seemed like Life 360 would have been behind, okay? So either the battery saver or low power mode limits background GPS, or Life 360 temporarily loses the signal, or Snapchat is open and immediately updates. Okay, Snapchat may appear more accurate. So to me, when Christine had one location then it turned out to not be the correct location because according to Javon, when he was looking at his Snapchat, it had updated to another location, which means was that during the time when possible Snapchats were being deleted because that app had been open and they were then able to track it to that location. Okay. Where she said she allegedly went and got it. Hey, Clarinetta, welcome. Okay. I'm just kind of walking us through this part first. Okay. We're going to get to the boat tracker as well. Okay. Because this was one question mark for me. Let's see. Snapchat could have been opened by Wyatt or another friend at the house. Exactly. I'm not saying that that's necessarily Javon on that part, but it seems as though it was open for to then tell them Snapchat is showing this location. Okay. And so then that's when they went over to where it was showing. And that, according to Tashima during the interview, was at Wyatt's house. And they got it out of his truck. Now, something else that is a discrepancy to me is his mother said, Christine said that they had she had retrieved the phone. Well, according, that's not true. Somebody got that off somewhere. It seems as though they spoke with Wyatt, who pretty much, I don't know what they were doing in there with the phone because she said it was dark up in there, which is surprising on the 4th of July, child. You would think people out eating, watching the fireworks. They were sitting in a dark room. It was a lot of people over there sitting in a dark room. I don't know if they were watching a movie or what. Okay. We don't know if he had a code or not. Yeah, I don't know if it was, some people use their fingerprint. Some people use face recognition. Some people use a code. We don't know that part. Okay. So that part is still like, I don't know. All right. So let's fast forward now. Okay. These things I'm trying to map out because it has to make sense in my mind, y'all. So walk along with me, please. I know it seems like we might be having a lot of background information, but it's putting puzzle pieces together. Okay. Now, this is the next part I want to outline. Let's look at this GPS timeline. Okay, based off of the information that was just released. They must not have an iPhone. Why not you use Find My Phone that zeroes in on you so quick and doesn't care about low battery? Oh, okay. Okay, got you. She said they were watching they were watching a movie. Okay. Got you. Okay, got you, T. Smith. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so let's take a look at this timeline, okay? Because it may explain some things. Because I don't know about boats like this, launching boats, going to this ramp, going to that marina, and all of that, child. I don't know how that works. So I had to type this in. All right, so based off of the map, okay, and the information that they have now shared with us, at 9:56 a.m., the boat departed from the original dock. Now, this is still a question mark for me because which boat was this? Whose boat was this? Was it Wyatt's boat? Okay. Was this his boat? We don't know that part yet. But we do know that whichever boat they're using to track, it arrived at Horn Island at 11:14 a.m. Now, Nolan Wells was reportedly last seen about 3 p.m. This boat departed at 4:31 p.m. from Horn Island. Okay. Now, a little over an hour later, it entered into Fort Bio. 5:52. Okay. Now at 6:06, the boat returned to the original departure dock. Okay. And then at 7:19, the boat traveled to the Fort Bio boat launch. So with the boat launch, they said that there are boats, like if you're docking at one little dock, that's one thing, but then you have to launch where they have these little openings. That would be a totally different location. Okay, so it's not like you can just get your boat up right there at the dock, if that makes sense, because that was confusing to me. Okay, you have to go to a boat ramp to connect your boat to a truck or something, and then you pull it out of the water. Okay, now after 7:19, the boat was removed from the water, apparently on a trailer, and transported overland to the owner's residence in Biloxi. Okay. Now, what does this timeline establish? Based on the reported GPS data, the timeline documents when the boat left and returned, that the boat made an additional trip into Fort Bio after returning from Horn Island, that it was later launched or moved to the Fort Bio boat ramp before being trailered home. And then Nolan Wells was not aboard when the boat departed Horn Island. Okay. So it can't tell us who was operating the boat at each point, who was aboard, okay, why the boat entered Fort Bio after returning from Horn Island, and then whether anyone boarded or exited the boat at any stop. It doesn't tell us that. And then it doesn't tell us what activities occurred after the boat returned to the dock. Okay. So that kind of mapped out that one boat. And like I said, we don't know whose boat it is that's doing all of this movement. Okay. Ian said, "OB, the anonymous dude said he was there. He was on video and Javon was lying. The dude on Elliot Speaks saying verbatim what you said." Oh, Tristan and Javon are lying. Please play the video. I'm trying to remember an anonymous dude. Okay, because I need to hear that. I'm trying to remember. Now you got me thinking, what did I play yesterday? Okay, let's see. Which you said Elliot Speaks, is that a channel? Yeah, I do remember that, Ian, that there was another altercation, right? Because the Tristan was the first one. Okay. Tristan was the first one. And then I believe, y'all, allegedly on this part, that Nolan was also there trying to, get him to calm down, Tristan to calm down, and his family was there, according to that Rolling Stones article, and they told him to get on the boat. They were trying to get out of there. But then it's like one of Nolan's friends that was there, they started turning on Nolan, allegedly. Now I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about, Ian. Let's see here. Bunny said they were sitting in a dark room watching how Nolan was beaten and thrown in water, like a snug movie to watch over and over again, in my opinion. Okay. Warren, LaShondra, you think Tristan is lying? Okay. Also, Tristan said we didn't want to see that happening to Nolan, so I'm guessing he saw what happened. That's a good point too. He did say that. Thank you, LaShondra. Stacy said, makes me wonder where Nolan's body was found and how close in proximity went back out there. Exactly. That's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Said he saw Nolan fighting. Yes. Okay. Hey, Stacy. There was a lot of activity from the boat after returning to the dock the first time. Right. Now, one person stated it could be because of the boat ramp. I was looking in a comment section, and someone said because it had to move from the dock to the actual boat ramp there to get the boat out of the water. That could be a reason why it was showing the double movement there. So I don't know how true that is. Let me see one thing to y'all. Oh, and then y'all remember yesterday, okay, we were looking at Kim Brawley on IG, okay? Now remember with Kim Brawley on IG, she had posted a photo of Javon at some event, and in the background there was a boat docking, pier right there. So I'm wondering who the boat belongs to that he went out there with as well. That's just a question mark too. I'm wondering which boat are they tracking, and what about the boat with Trayston? So these are all big question marks still, even with this information for me, because it's multiple boats involved, not just the one. I know a lot of people are focused on just one, but there are multiple boats out there involved in this. Okay. Let's see here. I'm not saying involved in his death, but that we're going out there that we've heard of people talk about, like Javon's boat. I don't even know who Jalen was with. Was he with his brother at one point? Okay. Was he out there doing all the searching when he found out? Was he on the boat with them? Right. Everybody is suspect until we take you off the list. Okay, OB, the boat is Ashley's. Um, you think it's the judge? And some people were saying allegedly it's Wyatt's boat, and then they were saying that Wyatt's boat over at the judge's home, and they were allegedly cleaning it. Okay, so we don't know. We don't know if the boat was Wyatt's boat or was it Warren's boat. Okay, but it said the boat owner, his mother, and another individual have been cooperating with the police. We don't know who none of those people are and whose boat this is. Okay, and the whole cleaning the boat part, what evidence do we have of that? Not to say it didn't happen, but I'm saying, has anyone seen any evidence of that part? And I'm curious to know, do the police, have they checked that out and verified that? Okay, because that's suspicious. That's suspicious. Okay, if someone's out cleaning the boat that time of night. 3 boats, but only one was being cleaned at 3 a.m. Right, okay, allegedly. We got to say allegedly. Hey, Karen, welcome. Oh, but it sure is looking like this makes sense. Warren is the stepson, the judge. Bunny said, since the suspects are not talking, we can focus on the so-called friends running their mouths. Bunny, that's what I'm doing in the meantime. Because it's all a piece of a puzzle, a giant puzzle in this case. Okay, the ones who are out talking, I'm about to check y'all out. Because guess what? And I think Ian said this earlier. See, Javon's mother is all up under these comments, y'all. Okay, in different places. And some of the stuff is very telling that she's saying. And what is happening is going to also not corroborate your son's story if you keep doing that. Because now it's giving more questions on the things that she's saying. Okay? It's giving more questions than anything, y'all. Right, Sugar Mama Main, if this is something she's covering for her boys, yeah, I agree. I'm not saying that's the case, But hey, something's not adding up. Yeah, we're gonna say allegedly. They're playing musical boat so they don't get search warrants on the right boat. Ooh. Yeah, because I mean that's a big thing that is not on mainstream media, y'all. When Javon has gone out, he has not brought up that whole part that he told the son here supposed to on the boat. Okay, so let's think this through. Went on a y'all would be at some point. It's saying you're one boat, but another boat. Wouldn't y'all have to have close proximity? With y'all or whoever you were going on that transpired about the boat filled up. That seems like y'all been there in close proximity to the other boat. Were they both traveling from Biloxi? Boats got on another boat. I'm not. I'm blurry with that part. Okay, because we got to start from the beginning. No sound. Uh-oh. I was moving my arms. Can y'all hear me? Let me stop talking with my arms too much. I got this little cord. Is this one child? Look, let me come my arms, my hands. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is it better? I'm still going in and out. Better. She said, not music. Okay, like y'all. The thing is, I'm still okay. With this, if that's the case, what I was saying is, at what point Secret Service Sam? Okay, I'll be looking for that. At what point did they meet up? And then he said, so whose boat was that? I'm glad y'all told me. Sometimes it does this in this area. Okay, where I'm at. And let me see what Secret Service Sam said about this right quick. Was it the one today, Ian? Because I saw one he posted today. Let me see if this is the one you're talking about. Audio lost.
Update, and this is a big one. They got the boat's GPS, okay? And the boat left the dock at approximately 9:56 a.m. that morning and arrived at Horn Island at 11:14 a.m. Now, according to the GPS data, the boat then left Horn Island at 4:31 p.m., returned to its original departure dock then, right? Mind you, Nolan was not on the boat. He left his phone, left his keys behind. And, you know, his friend Tristan keeps saying it was normal. Everybody says it's normal to leave your phone on the boat. Yes, it's normal to leave your phone on the boat when you go in the water. It is not normal to leave your phone on the boat when you don't plan to get back on that boat, right? Now, it then traveled into Fort Bayou around 5:52 p.m., which is interesting, right? And then it returned to the original dock at 6:06 p.m. But listen to this. Later that evening, the boat went to Fort Bayou boat launch at 7:19 p.m. It went back. Why? What happened there? And according to the report, from there, it traveled overland, towed by a vehicle to Biloxi, Mississippi. Now, we know his friends all said he would never, ever leave the group. His dad told us, he taught him that you go somewhere together, you always come back together. So this is very interesting and breaking to find out the actual boat GPS. And I want to know, like everybody else does, what happened at Fort Bayou and why did they have to go back there before returning to the original dock? Secret Service Sam Out Sampson for president. Sam.
Okay. Another question. Can y'all hear me? I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I'm hearing this differently this time. Now, we got to go back to, he spent the night at one of the boys' house. Okay. And that's where his car and his keys were. Okay. Thank you, Mama Magazine. Thank you, Karen. Okay. Now, at what point, if Javon is saying that he was supposed to get on the same boat with Nolan, but the boat he was on was filled up and Nolan had to ride in another boat, when did they actually meet up, y'all? It had to have been while they were out there that he saw Javon, because he spent the night somewhere else. Okay, his parents are thinking he's with those guys, right? So I don't know if maybe when they got out there, because I'm so confused by that, because then it puts the person with the boat, if they're side by side and around the same time leaving, that means, are y'all both from Biloxi? I don't know where because I thought that Nolan was from Ocean Springs. They lived in Ocean Springs. So the person that was on the boat, were they from Biloxi? Because we do know the GPS tracker for this boat went back to somewhere in Biloxi. Okay, so I don't know. It's, ooh, woo. Y'all, this thing here, did they say the water filling the particular boat caused it to be towed? So its tracking is different. They really muddied the water. Yes, that's what I'm wondering too. They did call because they needed help, because they said too much water was getting into the boat. I want to know, y'all, I feel like that audio was released strategically because we were not believing the whole judge putting out the bulge pump situation. And we know that that is what removes water and keeps water out, right? So because we weren't believing her story, all of a sudden we have an audio saying, oh, we need help. Oh, and then also it says, is everyone on board? Oh, yeah, everyone's on board. Okay. It was so strategic. We just so happened to release that, but child, we haven't gotten any arrest or anything, child, but we releasing audio of them getting help out of the blue. A Mama Magazine said you have an emergency drain on the boat. Okay. Am I saying it right? Biloxi. Why are you laughing? Because I may have messed that up. Okay. Then when the dad got there to get the keys, they all were sitting there chilling. It was on the game system. Yes. Right. It's that judge pulling strings along with her minions. I agree. Yeah. I'm not crazy. It was intentional of putting that out right now, because people are like, what? It's taking on water. What? Why would they go out in the boat? Why didn't they sink? Oh, now let's put on audio showing same thing happened with the Coast Guard. First they're saying, oh no, we got to call it 1246 to July 5th. Oh, we made an error. I don't think y'all need to be making all these errors, because that stuff can be tracked. Okay, it can be tracked just like this audio can be tracked. Oh, girl, how do I say it, Angel? Biloxi. Okay, child. Thank you for correcting me, baby. Hey, never been there. Don't want to go. Baby, if it look like Biloxi, it's Biloxi to me. Ain't it spelled with an O? Child, if it has an O, it's an O to me. Okay. Ian said they from rival high schools. Remember that? Oh, yeah. And colleges too, Ian. I heard allegedly that Warren and Nolan are allegedly from rival colleges. Biloxi. Now y'all not about to Biloxi. Y'all not about to do this to me today. Child, we were trying to figure out how to say what was the other word Shelly's live. If his mama call what's that movie? If his mama call him that was on Coming to America. If his mama call him dog, what did she say? I forgot. But he said on there, child, my mind ain't even thinking right now. I'ma call him this. If it say Biloxi, I'ma say Biloxi. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ian, I'm trying to find it. Which one? Okay, I was looking for something else right quick. Y'all get me on here getting tickled, child, and I done lost track of what I was doing. Y'all know we can't laugh. It's serious. If we laugh too much, they come for us. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's see what let's see what Kim Brawley said first about the boat tracker. She said, I need to see the boat that was being cleaned. GPS stats for July 4th, 6th, period. Entire history. Also, if more than one of them have boats, let's just look at all GPS data from that 72-hour period.
I don't give a shit about any GPS statistics that are going out. I need GPS statistics around 10, 11, 12 at night, okay? And all of their boats, particularly the boat that was being cleaned. I need to know the boat that was being cleaned's GPS. That's what I need, and not the morning one. All day, bitch. The July 4th and 5th, up until the fucking body was fucking found. Okay? So the going out GPS is just, what is that proving? Oh, that the judge's story matches up. Oh.
She said the same thing I just said.
No, convenient. Here's the thing. I don't give a shit about any GPS statistics.
Okay, baby, did she not clock what I just said? Because I hadn't seen her video yet. She clocked the same thing I clocked. This was strategic. The releasing of that audio asking for help, I truly feel, in my opinion, it was strategic to try to back up the judge's story. They see that we're not falling for certain things, and so certain things are being released. Okay, they went to different places after saying the boat was sinking. Yes, clocking love and happiness. Where were y'all at Fort Bio? Where were y'all going? I'm with her on that. Yeah, she's to the point, baby. She's a whole vibe. She be in the bed clowning them. Okay. Yes, it was put out because it was being so strategic. Also, this GPS tracker does nothing for us. Okay, it does nothing. Because whose boat was it? We still trying to figure out whose boat Javon was on. But Nolan was supposed to be on that boat. But then at one point, Javon and Nolan's phones are on the same boat. Javon got his phone, but didn't get Nolan's phone. Where was Nolan when his phone came up missing? Okay, where was Javon when his mama called him? Did y'all ever hear that? I don't know. Yeah, Coming to America. Oh, yeah. If his mama called him Cassius, I'm going to go call him Cassius. I think, did he say Cassius Clay? Child, I think he said Cassius. Something about his mama calling him, I'm going to call him this. Yeah, she's funny but correct. Mm-hmm. No, thank you for that. Javon needs to come back to the front of the class because you have questions too, Ray Ray. And shout out to you, sis. I'm just y'all. We just trying to build this from the beginning. Okay, we got to build it from the beginning. Well, Tristan was there with his girlfriend because they got into it. Okay, now we're building it from the beginning of this thing. Okay, even as we take it back to Nolan spent the night over to his friend's house. Now, he didn't ride in his own car, I don't think either. Did they ride and meet someone? See, we don't even know these details. How did they get to Horn Island? Was there any people riding to a certain location? Or did they just come out of their home and go back in the backyard and hop on the boat and then ride out? That's that part. Okay, but it seems as though if they had to take it back on land, then they had to have towed it on land, getting there too, from their home, their residence. I don't think it had a private dock for them to have to go that route and go on land because it tracked it on land going back to the residence. So that means that it had to come from the residence to that location. Okay. That boy took his phone or somebody. Okay, Nolan was already gone to the upper room. If he went missing around 3 p.m., everyone on the island is a suspect and have not been ruled out. Yes, T. Smith, that's what I'm saying. And allegedly, Javon is putting himself still there after Nolan disappeared. Now, we're hearing about Katie, and people are saying, well, why would Nolan stay behind and he didn't have a ride back? He did. He could have had a ride back. He could have rolled back with Javon. Whoever's boat Javon was on. Because originally they were supposed to ride together to Horn Island on the same boat, according to Javon. And then you got Javon's brother, Jalen, saying he out there looking for hours somewhere. For some reason, they found out. He said on the 4th, he was out looking for hours. What they gonna probably come back and say, oh, that was the wrong date. They'll come back and tell us that was the wrong date. He had made an error that he meant on July 5th. He found out that Nolan was missing and was searching for hours. He said he wasn't able to sleep for 3 days. So I'm thinking the 4th, 5th, 6th. But his name never comes up. Okay. The medical examiner's office is with an organ donor harvesting ring. Oh, that does happen, Bunny. Nolan was already gone to the upper room. That's why Daddy took his phone. Oh, why they took his phone? Who all was at Ava's house? Child, I don't even know. I haven't even gotten there, a Mama magazine. Lots of lies given about Nolan. Boat was broken. All teens drinking booze. He left his phone, but why his body burned? Yes, exactly. And then yesterday, we were looking at this. I think this is the one from yesterday. Okay. We got our own investigative agency over here, child. Okay. Now with Miss Didi, she puts Find Your Ass Agency. Okay, I didn't put that on here. Oh my goodness. But some of the information that we, are mapping out yesterday, I haven't even mapped out any of this stuff yet. But we know that Nolan's phone was found at Wyatt's house. Okay. We know Nolan's keys and car were at Jax's house. Now, Nolan on the boat, or that boat, was supposedly at Warren's house. Allegedly, because I don't know if they live in Biloxi. And then alleged pool party, which we don't know for sure, was at Evan's house. So I'm still trying to figure out how all of these things are all over the place. Okay, I'm still trying to figure that out. Until we get to everyone, until we get TOD, everyone is on the suspect. Oh, time of death, everyone's on the suspect list. Don't care how mad or how much you cry. Okay, come on now. The medical examiner comment is allegedly and for educational purposes. Allegedly at Jax's house, because that's where the keys were. Lena. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even know that Nolan Wells had a car until his dad brought up the car keys. Yeah. And then today on the dispatch, we found out that that was in his dad's name. Okay. The car came back on dispatch under Elmore Winsley. So they had to give that property back because that's his property, technically. And if the boat was towed, how did they get back? I think they probably towed the boat to their residence. I haven't been getting the notification. Oh, Becca, I don't know. Well, thank you for tapping in. Absolutely. Give him that hood crime treatment. Obi, do you remember them saying Nolan's body was found face down? Yeah, I heard that from the girl's video. Y'all, even that video, I don't know for sure if that's all, fact or whatever. But, and you know what? Did I see? Am I behind in the comments? I think I'm behind, y'all. But shout out to, I think I saw something with Caramel Shell. Thank you so much, sis, for the super sticker. I think I went past that or something. I'm behind. She said Javon needs the hood type 3-day hold police interrogation. He will figure it all out once he gets a 72-hour hold for questioning. Okay. And shout out to you for being a sponsor for today's live. You're right about that. He has not been questioned by the police, according to him. Okay. So you're right about that. Everything is all spread out. She said, wow, that is a good law and order and heat of the night. Okay, Hinata. Hey, we got to lay some stuff out. Hey, the Queen's Den is in the building. Welcome. She said all teen swimming kept keys on the boat. His friend probably took the friend home, but no one called Nolan's parents. Drinking not allowed during boating. Thank you so much, Brink. Okay, the DJ, great channel OB. Let's see, he posted a local channel's timeline, which cut off at 6:06. Okay, thank you so much. You know something isn't right for the simple fact that they say he decided to stay back with the girl, but the girl says that's not true. All those people were out there and he had no ride back. Exactly. Whoever had the phone is definitely suspect. That part. Autopsy, Nolan was, we're going to say alleged. I don't know that to be fact. I was thinking the same thing. Open book. Why was his belongings at different places? Yes. Wyatt must stay close to Ava. And Tashima, they never told how long it took to get to that location, to get the phone. When they used Snapchat to find out the location, they never said how long it took for them to get over there. Oh, Protected 91. I don't know. Some places said she used both boys' last name. If it's not Wyatt, it's one of the other friends. Oh, really? I didn't know that part. Yeah. And Javon. I think he knows too. Right. So many people putting things out there and it may not even be accurate. Yeah. And the girl, that's what I was about to say. The girl that posted that, I just found it odd that she hadn't posted anything else about Nolan. That was the only thing she had on that channel about Nolan. So I guess I found it odd that someone would just contact y'all to release this info to y'all if y'all are not covering the story. Now I can see if it's a CC that's been covering the story, they're getting inboxes and so forth. But we got to be careful on just saying things as fact. Because anybody could I could take a folder and write something on it and put put Nolan Wells autopsy marker, take a picture, of it. I don't know. Like, come on now. I just got to think that through. So I just tell y'all about stuff sometimes, but certain things I do have just question marks. I don't take stuff on as fact unless we can prove it. Like, we've heard about the boat cleaning, but have any of us ever seen proof of that? No. I know I haven't. Okay. So certain things that we don't have proof yet, we can only say allegedly. We don't know it to be fact, and we definitely don't want it to be some evidence we're taking on as fact, and then it impedes our investigation. Okay. Because look, a lot of these people are suspects still. I think Nolan was beat and threw in the water, hoping a gator eat him. Jay Blunt said, "Why would the police want to question me?" Right? You have all this info. If they arrest one, they will get all others involved. Yes, definitely. Let's see here. Why didn't they call the parents or their parents contact Nolan's parents to make them aware of what's going on with their son? I don't know, Tracy. That's a very good question. Also, all teens in the boat with him have closed the Facebook and TikTok. That's what's questionable. Yep, I do feel he was definitely touched and hurt. Yeah, we don't know. All we know is rumors. Yeah, Becca, they need to lock them all up. I feel these boys will get off and not tell. It's a big cover up. And I do feel it's a big cover up. The Queen's then said, how long did it take the friends to realize he didn't make it back to land? That part. Because why is his mom only finding out at 11 p.m., which makes things more complicated over there, and they're hiding? Yes. And then who are all of these people? Because that's a huge thing too, y'all. When they went to phone, and she said it was a lot of people over there, okay, and they are just in there, in the dark, which is questionable, but watching some movie, but like, y'all just chilling with his phone in the truck. Y'all didn't think that was odd? And that's at Wyatt's house, but Warren is the one that contacted his mom. Why is Warren contacting his mom? What made Warren finally say, let's contact his mom and say that he's missing at 11? When y'all were supposedly, okay, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say his story checks out and they left him back on land, on Horn Island, the land part, right? So y'all are gone. What prompted you to say that Nolan was missing? How did you know? He was allegedly not with y'all anyways, right? So why around 11 o'clock you thought to call his mom? What prompted you to say that Nolan was missing? Okay. What do we have coming down the chat? Shout out to Karen. She said just locked them all up. Okay. And shout out to you, sis. And thank you for being a sponsor for today's live. Shout out to Bink the DJ for the super sticker and for being another sponsor of today's live. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate all of the support. Thank you, guys. Let's see here. You can't trust these people sometimes, right? Even when you think you have the trust. These parents trusted all of them, especially the adults, okay? Let me pull up something else. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm looking give me 1 second. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know we are. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me go back to the interview. I think they called the mom to antagonize Nolan. Open book, if they called in an emergency, why haven't any report being released of the help that came from their call that night? Yeah, they have the audio out now, about that. But I mean, talking about we just need help. Is everybody on board? Yes. Like what? They should have asked location. Like y'all trying to fit a narrative with this. Y'all should have been asking for location and all of that. Let me pull up this interview here. Because it appears as though on this interview, um, people were saying that she nudged her son, Tashima.
As well. Nolan was just a guy that if you were feeling down, he's gonna put a smile on your face. He always found a way to make me laugh, even though he was getting on my last nerve. But I always love him, man. Like that guy was like he was a blessing. Like, I mean, like Nolan literally did everything with me. Like if he wasn't going somewhere, I wasn't going somewhere. If I was going, he was going. We were just like we were literally like brothers. Like honestly, like we did everything. We talked every day. We could be like he'll be at college. I was still in high school. We'd come back down, still have the same bond. Like always, we will always have that brotherhood relationship. And I feel like that's something I'll always.
What has it been like?
Ma'am?
What has it been like now, in this last week alone?
It's been hard, honestly.
That's true,
like,
Jenny.
it's really stressful. Like with everything that's been going on, it's just it doesn't feel real. Like it just hurts really bad, and I just wish things were differently. Like it's hard because things don't add up, and I just wish that like things were just a lot differently. Honestly, like I wish I could just talk to my best friend every day again, and I can't do that anymore, and it just hurts so bad. And I feel like people will just on the internet just running with narratives that they don't know, saying I was the last to leave them when it's not true at all. If I was last to leave Nolan would still be with us today. And I think that's something that's been on my mind so much lately because with everything I've been going through, it's just like, how can y'all blame me for this? Like that was my brother. Like y'all don't know me. Like that was literally my best friend. And it's just so hard, honestly. And I just miss him every day. But I'm also so grateful to have him even as a friend, honestly. He was such a blessing.
Tashima, you are his mother, Javon's mother. What is it like hearing your son talk about how this has impacted him?
It is so hurtful. People don't know my son, and you have these people on the internet bashing him. You have people sending us DMs saying things, and y'all don't know my son, and they don't know me. So, like, it's been a lot. They haven't given my baby time to grieve. They haven't given us time to grieve, given nobody time to grieve because y'all are internet investigators. You have the spiritual so-callers. You have all this stuff going on. And we are just trying to figure out what really happened to Nolan.
And I post Nolan because it makes me feel better. Like it makes me show the world how good of a person Nolan was. And I just don't even feel like I can do that anymore with all the threats and stuff I've been getting, and it sucks.
You've been getting threats?
We've had a few.
Christine, you're Nolan's mother.
Wow. Okay. So he said that they have been getting threats. Okay. And what do we have coming down the chat? Shout out to Charnisa for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. Shout out to Ray Ray from PA, the real Alicia Barnes, Angel Baby, T Think, and Creative for receiving those memberships. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a sponsor. Y'all were already family, but now y'all are members. Also, shout out to Caramel Shell again. She said Judas. Okay. Hey, Miss Dee Dee is in the building. I was just talking about you earlier, sis. Thank you for tapping in. I said you add we gonna footage. Welcome. You said blah blah blah. Okay, that's what we hear. That's what we hear. She said it's all. That's all the teens on the boat will get community service, not real jail time. Okay. Oh, phenomenal Scorpio says she mentioned Nolan. This ain't about your son. Oh, she said keep the threats going. Okay. Y'all silly. Okay, what was that other one? See, it was another one. Hold on, let me see if I can find the one with the mom telling how she got the phone. Oh, that was the one. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. I think she took that one off of her X account. Let me go back over. Child, this is so crazy how some of these videos. Okay, so let me show it from this. How some of these videos are coming down. Did y'all see the TMZ one came down that had Javon on there? I was like, wait a minute, what in the world? Okay. Shout out to Bink, the DJ again. Christine, better watch her. She's sitting up there trying to look like her. Oh, now wait a minute. Okay, shout out to you for being a sponsor. Okay, come on now. Hey, we call it all out. How they call emergency if phones had no service. Okay. She said they didn't call 911. She is betraying Christine and sad because Christine is in a vulnerable moment. That mama lost her son and now about to lose her best friend. Y'all calling it. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Cast It or Carry It. Thank you so much. I think I saw you from my phone. Give something. Thank you, sis, for being a sponsor. Sending a gift. I can't see it on StreamYard. Okay, shout out, shout out. Thank you, V. Exactly. These interviews with his friends and coaches are just to distract us from the investigation or the fact that they are not really investigating it. Again, out to Ms. Diddy. Get you your go. I love you, sis. We love you too. Thank you so much, sis, for being a sponsor and all of your support. I really appreciate that. All right, so let me pull up.
phone, Tashima, a huge question so many people have is why he would have left his cell phone behind. And you say you were the person who actually went and retrieved that phone for the family. How'd you get your hands on the phone? Where was it?
That is correct. Christine called me and told me, hey, where are the boys? Nolan hasn't been heard from since such and such time. Where are your boys? I said, well, Javon is with his girlfriend, and I just spoke with Jalen, and they are headed to downtown, which I was literally getting ready to get in the shower to go downtown as well. She said, well, Nolan hasn't been. So I instantly called with Christine on the phone, Javon. Javon said no, he hadn't seen Nolan since early on the island. And he was like, what? Are y'all serious? We was like, yes. And so Christine intervened in the conversation, said, Nolan has not been heard from since he left the island. So Javon was like, well, that's when I seen it. I haven't seen it since then. Again, everybody goes their separate ways. So I then hang up from Javon because obviously there's nothing he can say to tell me anything. So then Jalen, I called.
I'm still confused as to why she felt that he couldn't tell her anything when originally he stated that him and Nolan were supposed to go out on the same boat, but Nolan had to get on another boat. Like, all of those details are important, but it never comes up when they're doing these interviews. Also, shout out to my sis. She said, yes, sis, Detective Ms. Dee of the Open Book. We will find your ad agency, and we are in control of the Thank you. Hey, Barbara, I agree, because we have not eliminated him from the list. She got the scoop from the jump from one of her boys. You know what, Sugar Mama? You and me, we're thinking alike on that part, okay? It's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. I didn't want to say it, but since you put that in the comments, I was like, is it possible? Because Javon had to go get his phone. I don't know how all of that looked, who took him to get the phone, all of that. But at one point, he said his phone and Nolan's phone were on the same boat. But he got his phone. Nolan's phone was being tracked. I don't think they banked on Nolan's mother having that Life 360. I don't think they banked on that part. Okay. So, yes, Javon had more information. She didn't know about the Sun Herald article, I guess, that had gotten out. The focus was on the picture. Javon talking where he should have been quiet. He was talking to the Sun Herald, telling part of the story. But see, they're trying to erase that part, but that's important. That's where people are getting this from what your son said. We're not making that up. He said that.
Jalen did not answer the phone. Christine, again, is on the phone. Jalen did not answer the phone. LeBaron, I called, he didn't answer the phone. I called LeBaron, which is their other friend, LeBaron Broomfield. He answered. He said, Jalen is in the gas station. Hold on. So he said, hey, Jalen, Mom on the phone. So he was like, Jalen, like, what's up, Mom? What's going on? I was like, hey, have y'all heard from Nolan? They said, no, we have not heard from Nolan.
But wait a minute. First of all, child, the phone in the car, other people answering their phone. Who is this friend? We got too many friends involved in this, okay? You got Jalen with the girl, Javon with his girlfriend. We never heard of him mention a girlfriend, that he was on the island with a girlfriend. So at some point, him and his girlfriend hanging out. Then you got Jalen saying, he hadn't seen Nolan, but making a post a couple of days after saying he was looking for him. Y'all don't believe me? Look. I'm not making this up. This is Jalen. He said on July 4th, my brother right here, Nolan Wells, was missing. He said that same day. So that same day, which would be the 4th. Okay. That same day, I went out looking for him for hours. No sleep for 3 days straight. How is it that Jalen is saying on the 4th that he has been out looking for Nolan for hours, unless he must have known also that Nolan was missing. Because how you out looking for him? His mama didn't know till 11. Okay, had the boys, like someone just said, had they given their mother the heads up that we got to find Nolan, or they knew something was up already? Because how were you out looking for him? Not saying that they did anything, but why are you posting that on the 4th you were out there looking for him for hours? You said the time his mom, it was going into July 5th. Okay, it was almost, I think she said she contacted the police after she was calling around and stuff. It was midnight. So hours would have been previous to that time if you were out there for hours looking for him. These are his words. So they didn't get their story together. Shout out to Ms. Didi again for being a sponsor. She said, get you a little snack. And I do mean a little with this inflation that we're in, darn Trump. Come on, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Okay. I'm telling y'all, if we're clocking it, she said them boys are scared. They definitely told their mama. Okay. I believe so too. I believe Javon was at the house. Javon was at the house when she went to go get Nolan's phone. Ooh, Angel. Angel. Zap yourself. Well, look, we ain't had to use our zapper in a while since Tyrone. What you say? What you say? Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Now, we ain't thought this possibility through. I know I hadn't. Now, let's think about this. Javon was with his girlfriend. His mama called him. Javon said that the Snapchat map was showing at this particular location, which we later find out in this interview, I'll pull it back up, was at Wyatt's house. She said when she went over there were a lot of kids. Now take it, we thought when Christine came out and shared this that the boys were with their mom. Well, based off of this interview, they were not. She was calling them on three-way. Okay, so Jalen and his friend were at a gas station. Javon was with his girlfriend. But Javon, where were you? Uh-oh. If I was an investigator and could ask him these questions, when your mom called you, where were you? Now, remember, thinking about GPS, how it tracks using Snapchat. Snapchat only clocks the location pretty much is when it's being used or if it's operating in the background. So at the moment that he shares that, no, they're at this location, did that Snapchat open up over there? Did he know, or are those people, at that location? Did he know any of those people? Did he go over there to his phone? If his phone and were on the same boat, hence it could have been Wyatt's boat that people were saying that was now at Warren's house. Had Javon went to get his phone, but had not gotten Nolan's phone, and by the time his mother caught wind that he was missing, when he opened up the Snapchat, he was also able to say Nolan's phone is over there too. Because when did he get his phone back? He said that their phones were on the same boat at one time. This is what he said. So that is a huge wow. We just thinking through some stuff. I want to ask Javon's girlfriend some questions. Come on, Mama Magazine. Okay. HGY said, so if he stayed back, nobody can account for Nolan's whereabouts or can say they saw him. Who did he hang out with? Or speak to? Right. If he hung back, who else was there that could vouch? Well, we know Javon was still there. Okay. I'm not trying to put this on him. I'm just saying possibilities. He said he stayed. So he would have possibly been there. I don't know about Katie. Okay. What do we have coming down the chat? Thank you again, sis. Justice for Nolan. Shout out to you, Queen. I appreciate the support. She said all GPS on cell phones need investigating. That part protected 91. Uh-huh. Right, Hanada. Yes. Okay. Too many. Can't have too many friends. Right. You think it's a lie. Wyatt was over someone else's house with a lot of people and made the girls walk to get the phone. But where did they go, Mama Magazine? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Where did they go? Let's see. Indigo said they're just throwing in friends to switch up the narrative. They can't keep the story straight. Yeah, we're adding more people. T. Smith. Okay. But see, that will be the comeback. The comeback will be like, oh, I put the wrong date. Because if you're saying on the same day, the 4th, how were you looking for Nolan unless you knew Nolan was missing sooner than his mother also? Jalen, you put this out there. Okay. We can only go by what's being put out because the other ones to shut theirs down. Okay. We wait no more info. You think he wasn't looking? Seems Nolan had a lot of associates, but not friends. Right. Okay. Because it makes you look guilty. Focusing on friends he didn't actually go to the island with or who didn't have any of his belongings is a distraction. It's a reason those boys had his belongings. Yes, I'm not saying that, but it's also a piece of the puzzle. Okay, I think we're missing this. He stated, this friend Javon stated that him and Nolan were supposed to be on the same boat. We do not know whose boat that was. This friend, Javon, stated that because their boat filled up, that Nolan had to get on another boat. Which boat? This friend, Javon, stated that his phone and Nolan's phone at some point were on the same boat. Whose boat? Javon retrieved his phone, but Nolan's phone, his mother had to track. Why? His brother, Jalen, is stating on his own post that on July the 4th, okay, Nolan was missing. He's saying that same day he went looking for him for hours. How come? Because no one knew about it yet, allegedly. So you see how these are important parts of this. It doesn't, just because we're focusing on this, does not disqualify the fact that we still got to make it here. Okay. Why was Nolan's phone at Wyatt's house in his truck? Who did we find that out from? Well, let's go back to
where was the phone?
So I was like, well, so that's when we started tracking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. Like it was, I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one or two there, but it showed that the phones at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting.
And right there, I've never seen so many parents if you don't know your friends, your kids' friends and stuff like, those are friends they not going out with. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't care. Look, you not, because I don't know who you talking to. Because a lot of this we're hearing, I don't know, this not his friend. I don't know this person. I never seen this. Like, hey, you're not going over there because that's scary. Being around all these people that you don't know. Now, remember the other girl, Alexis, that was on the TikTok panel. She stated that the phones were tracking a group of them for 4 hours at a location. For 4 hours. Okay. Now, there was another post that I saw on IG that Wyatt had allegedly been staying with one of his brothers. Okay. I don't know how the brother is, why he was staying there. So I don't know if this was that location there or was it Wyatt's parents. Okay. But it seems as though it may have been over to the brother's house, possibly. Until Tashima confirms that, we don't know that part. But based off of a post on IG from the brother, his brother had been staying with him. So that's another layer. Okay, that's another layer. So we got to think about all the pieces coming together because it's a lot of pieces, y'all. It's a lot of pieces.
In there, lights off, watching TV.
Did they immediately give you the phone? Because knowing that phone was there.
It took about 15. They did. They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone, or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was when Wyatt told me it was in his truck. It took him so long to get the phone back to me.
Miss Christine, how are you and your family holding up? Phone, Tashima, a huge question. So many.
That clip. Okay, so Caramel Shell said, what if the girl was Javon's girlfriend and the girlfriend knew where the keys were because Javon told her where he put them? Well, I don't know if Javon ever had his keys because remember, Nolan spent the night. So we can't forget that part too. Remember, Nolan spent the night. He told that his parents that he was going to spend the night at one of his friends' house. Now, his dad went to get the keys. That was allegedly at Jack's house, okay, where his keys were. There should be no one at the party but family, no friends until the case is dismissed and solved. Right. Hey, Janet, welcome. This is just why the judge lawyered up Warren, Wyatt, Morgan, Jackson, Evan, because every word can be used to incriminate you. Yes, Protected 91. Right. He probably only say his phone on the boat so it sounds better. Okay. Well, but is it possible it could have been Wyatt's boat? You see what I'm saying? Hey, Shelly. Hey, sis. Possible it could have been a boat, but then they said Wyatt's boat was his house. But the phone, before that boat was over there at the Warren's house, and he got his phone, but Nolan's phone was still in the truck. Was that the truck used to pull the boat? Do they live in Biloxi? 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 Who lives in Biloxi? Okay. Since y'all said I be saying it wrong. Everything is being twisted and this is doing nothing. That's why there's no investigation. No, we're doing more investigation than the investigators. Child, they probably don't even know about half the stuff we over here talking about this that came out. Shoot, they focusing on trying to cover for the judge, child. How to hold back evidence. What boat? Who you let him go with? Yeah, it was in Wyatt's truck. Why didn't you be a friend and make sure he didn't go? Talk to him and say, something is not right, man. Come back with me. Think of what your mom or dad would say. Right. Hey, Tammy, you think he's lying? That's why we need to wait and not jump so quick because it sure made me mad. But then I thought about it and had to calm down. Exactly. I'm sorry, they could have been searching instead of eating breakfast together. Okay. Wow, that's what they were doing. Gathering without a care. Right. Yes, all gathering without a care, like the Lord's Supper with Judas in the midst. But there are definitely a lot of witnesses to this, y'all. That group there, they would know some stuff. Okay, Javon is pretending like he probably doesn't know as much as he does know. His brother came out talking too fast. He talked too fast. And now all of that can be used against you. And guess what? Because they are the ones that's coming out on these platforms and doing interviews, guess who they're going to go after if they found out it's some foul play? The ones who've been talking. They're going to try to pin everything on them. They're going to have to eventually talk, even if they've been receiving threats. They've probably been receiving threats of you bet not tell what happened. Okay? I believe, and to get them to talk is to lock Nolan so-called friends up, and they will start talking. Right? They can't search if they know where the body is. They don't know where the body is. Right? Yeah, I believe that. I believe that if they tell what happened, then they're gonna try to make it look like they did it. They the ones that's been out talking and posting. I hope a lot of people have been reporting that judge. But the attention is not off of the judge. Okay? It's not off of her. So they can come out with this little audio, child, and it still does not come off the fact of you putting out these statements ahead of time, too. Because you're going to have to stand on that. And it's a lot of the boys where different things were allegedly. I don't know about this pool party. They were saying that that pool party picture was from another day. So we don't know for sure if that was the same weekend, if he was there. But it's so suspicious, y'all, that you have one saying he was out helping to search, and then all of a sudden, they didn't even know that Nolan was missing. Nolan went off the grid, and no one wanted to be the last one with him. Javon didn't want to be the last one. The other boys didn't want to be the last one. Okay. Katie didn't want to be the last one. So they have to pick through all of the lies and see what's going on. Right. Everybody is pretending like they didn't see nothing, which is so sad, unfortunately. If it was me, I knew something, I would tell, because I wouldn't be going to the prison for nobody. And I would tell on whoever did it. Yeah. I mean, they need to speak now. I mean, we're talking about justice for Nolan. It's going to also be interesting to see if any of those boys are going to go to the funeral. I'm talking about the ones in the picture. We know Javon and Jalen going to be there. Okay. But the others, they don't want anyone to know who was in the fight on the beach, which I think is weird. Preston said that he had gotten into, I guess, one guy there because Tracy was talking to his girlfriend, I guess disrespectful, and the guy intervened and was like getting on him. So he got into an altercation with that guy. Then his family, they were trying to get him on the boat to get him up out of there. Okay. And then he said that when you hear him shouting, he wanted to come back to the island because he said he wasn't done. He's like, let me off this effing boat. That's when he said you could hear that part in the video. Why you want to go back? Okay. So then you have Javon is saying whichever boat he was on, we need to know whose boat he was on. He stayed there after the time. Okay, so Nolan, I guess, got into an argument with someone because he said, hey, I went to go check on him, but the boat had left. So he's assuming Nolan had left. Okay, the boys are assuming Nolan stayed. They said with some girl, Katie. I mean, it's so many people. No one wants to say who he stayed with. Hey, Spacegate, the traffic, They trafficked him, took his phone, made him powerless. No transportation or phone. Now he's moving around, screaming for his phone, fighting for his life. They took his phone. Yes. Okay, that's sad too. Yep. This is so unfortunate, y'all. We have so much more to think through with all of this. I mean, as more things come out, more questions, but also some things are being put together as well when we pay attention to all of the evidence. I bet if we put some money out there, they will start lying even more, but the truth will come out. Yeah, the truth gonna come out. Okay? The truth is going to come out eventually, little by little. Let them talk. When people feel like they have gotten away with something, let them talk. Okay? Let them talk because the truth eventually comes out. His mother has his phone. Why? Whose mother? The fit accountant. Who has his phone? Or whose mother? I wouldn't be surprised if pictures don't come out with Nolan and the judge at this point. Ooh. Well, she probably knows Nolan because they all kind of in the same community. Hello, my sister. I was in the same situation. All praise to the Most High. How I made it home. I do have a story to tell. Well, praise the Lord. I think I saw you put that yesterday. Praise the Lord. I'm so glad you made it out. Oh, Nolan's mom. Yes, they're going through all of the data on that phone, and then they're going to surrender it over to the police to do their part, their work. But they're doing their own independent investigation. There was another physical fight that island with some big white boys, and one guy knows. Yeah, I saw them protecting 91. I'm not sure if that's the same day. It looked like almost an AI picture to me, a video to me, but I don't know. I don't know if that's from the same day in Ireland. When can they get everyone's phone records? Do they have to wait till the trial? They could issue subpoenas for that now because they're going to have to present the evidence to the grand jury. This is somebody's life that was taken and nobody knows anything. Nolan's life matters. Exactly. It's been stated the phone hasn't been given to the police. That's why they're doing their own, according to Benjamin Crump, they're doing their own independent investigation first. And then they're going to surrender it. Well, I want to know too why the police hasn't given them their report, preliminary report that they're supposed to have within 72 hours. And we're almost 2 weeks in. So I'm trying to understand that. And then, like he said, everyone's phone needs to be dumped, okay, and data downloaded so that they can get deleted messages, all of the players, okay, the people that were there in his close circle of friends, everyone's data needs to be dumped. And I agree with that. Okay, we're going to just do Nolan's phone. We got to look into Warren's phone, Wyatt's phone, Javon's phone, Jax's phone, Evan's phones, Katie's phone, all of that. Exactly, Roger. Yeah, we got to look through it all. That's a lot of footwork that they're going to have to do because there's so many players in this. Yeah. All right, y'all. That was all that I have for today. We're going to keep looking. Let's see here. Shout out to Karen Michelle, Karen, Bink the DJ, Tranisa, Miss Dee Dee. Thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate that. Also, the ones that sent the gifts that I can't see on StreamYard, but I believe it was Casted, not Carry It. Okay. And I'm not sure if who else sent gifts. So thank you all so much for sending the gifts because I can't see those. And then, yes, a lot of misinformation out there. I'm trying to keep it streamlined, y'all, on the things that we know as fact as of right now. Some stuff I do know it comes out and, it's talked a lot about, but I'm trying to just be careful because I don't want to have to go back and say, oh, that wasn't true. And then we got people all scared. And feeling some type of way because we heard about the learning type of situation. I mean, a lot of people are putting in the comments under that post to, contact the family and take this down. Like, do you want your family member to see a video of you talking about, oh, someone said that the body was face down and he had been all burned up and tortured? Who wants to get online and hear that mess? So I didn't even feel right even sharing that because I don't want to be the bearer of some news if that's true. We don't even know if it's true, y'all. Like I said, that one girl that posted it, I never see anything on her page about Nolan. So I just find it odd that out of nowhere, she's like, oh, somebody's randomly telling me about Nolan's body and transport. So now we got to see, was it when his body was being transported from the island to the coroners? Was it in transport when his body was being moved to Washington? Was it in transport from Washington back to Mississippi? Was it in transport from Mississippi when it arrived back to the funeral home? So what information have we been given? Which transport? Which one? Okay, nothing. They just coming out showing a folder, a little quick view of some folder, and getting online just saying stuff. Okay, because we don't know that to be fact. Now, if it's fact, hey, okay, that's going to be definitely sad to hear something like that. But we don't know that to be fact as of right now. So I just, especially that's so sensitive, I just didn't feel comfortable sharing that right now. But I know it's out there. Okay, they contacted for help from the GPS. The boat kept going. It went to the bio twice. But water was coming into the boat, clock it. But Simone, the thing of it is, the reason why we can't say that that's off, we don't know which boat this GPS tracker is from. There are multiple boats involved in this whole thing. Which boat are they getting that data from? The one, is that the boat they were tracking? Is it the boat that Javon is saying that Nolan got on? They were originally supposed to get on one with Javon. Is it that boat? And whose boat is that? I mean, there's so many boats. So I don't know. And to all, let's stand on one accord with the prayer tonight at 7. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, stop and pray for the truth to surface. Yes, I was praying that yesterday. Definitely. Thank you, Phenomenal Scorpio. And y'all, the color now has changed. So we're going to start dropping blue hearts. I know we have that for Tyrone, but also his mom said the color for the funeral is going to be blue for anyone that's attending the funeral. Yep, everyone needs to wait until results and just listen. Yep, they should go to jail if they're lying, right? Thank you. Thank you, Nada, for joining and for all of your engagement. Prayer is the key to unlock all mysteries. That part. This is a huge who done it. It's huge. This bigger. I think this is bigger than Carmel. Oh my gosh. It's all with Tyrone's as far as players. I think they got that case beat too. Okay, it could have been a huge case for Angela Lansbury or my undercover. Okay, back in the day, Mississippi, anyone they can't when something like this happens, right? Hi, Miss Josephine. Hi, Pilot Jay. Welcome. Hey, Gwen. Their sheriff thought everything was covered up, so he immediately declared no foul play. Yeah, they didn't expect us to do this much deep diving into this. Why you always get an autopsy done, even if it makes you uncomfortable, you have to know for yourself. Right, exactly. You want to make sure everything is being done with integrity, okay? That y'all's results match, because what this is going to do is if it doesn't, if that medical examiner who's, kind of done some little fishy stuff in the past is trying something with Nolan's case, then hey, it's going to be exposed through that independent autopsy. And I think that's another reason they're waiting to see what the independent autopsy is going to show. Okay, I truly feel that. I know Shelly, my sis Shelly, she sent me this lady on Facebook. I had seen it because it came across my timeline one day, my news feed. and she's I guess a channel. I don't know if they are called, but she has been sharing a lot, and she said the kids are mad that she's been sharing a lot of stuff on Warren and Javon and all of that. She was channeling what happened to Nolan, and it's her name is Tammy. On I forget her last name on Facebook. For those of you who watch things like that, I had to be careful, child, because although I've seen it for investigative purposes, because I know I believe in Jesus Christ, the Lord, the blood. Okay, I don't dibble and dabble in none of that, child. But some stuff can be like, if you can prove it, if it works with a case or investigation, some people utilize them. I know during that Derek Samuel case, um, I know that it confused the cops because they said during the press conference that the case was getting confused a lot. I was like, oh my gosh, because he said he had a lot of the psychics and things coming up to the police station or calling in, sharing things that they saw. So I was like, oh my gosh. Allegedly, the autopsy done for Trey Reed was never released, and it contradicted the medical examiner's report of suicide. That's what I was wondering. We were talking about that the other day. Um, that whatever happened to his independent autopsy, because as of January his family was saying that they had not received that. So I don't know. Right, be careful, everybody. Yeah, keep your spirit covered. I know covering these cases, it can be draining sometimes, and our brains can go to thinking a lot. That's why I take mental breaks, like in the evening. Sometimes I don't come live. I just take breaks. Like yesterday, I just took a break just to watch some other stuff. Sometimes I do family time, just take my kids randomly to places. So just protect yourself. Some people take breaks from social media a couple of days. Whatever it takes for you and your sanity and your spirit. You don't want too much stuff, anger and all of that. So just be careful. Watch yourself. Protect your energy, right, Shelly? And pray. Pray for this family, because they are coming up. This is always knowing that a funeral is coming up. It's so like, oh my gosh, it's so stressful, and you have a variety of emotions. Y'all, someone had shared, speaking of that, I have to share this. Let me see. I think I shared it on my page. Oh my gosh, I got to prepare you though. It just made me think about it because of what we're talking about. But it was so beautiful. However, it was, oh my gosh, it was so, and I know AI can be a good thing, but it can also be, uh, like you want those moments, right? So I'm gonna share this video that someone shared yesterday. And I know if his family saw this, it will definitely probably cause them to break down. But it's so beautiful. So let me share this with you all. I'm preparing y'all. Okay, it's beautiful, but yes, okay. Let's see. Woo. And I saw that last week. The reality just hit me. It's so like, wow. Oh my gosh, I'm praying for that family. The hardest deaths that I think we have to go through in life would be unexpected deaths. Like it's probably different. I don't know if her mom, because she was saying that this grief is different than with her mom. I don't know if her mom was sick or something like that, that passed away. But sometimes when a person is sick, you can sometimes, prepare yourself a little bit more, although you're never fully prepared. But when it's a sudden, unexpected death, those are the biggest ones to get over. Like it's so the shock of it. It's like throughout life, it's like, man, they were here one day and gone the same day, or the next day. And so that part, just keep them lifted up in prayer. I know it's very hard. Horrific history repeats itself. The Emmett Till history is repeating itself. Heartbreaking. Yes, it really is. So that was beautiful. Although it makes you cry, makes you feel the feels of it. It's beautiful. So my heart goes out to them. AI sometimes can bring your thoughts to life, right? Right. Definitely. hmm And I must say, I love their closeness through this. It seems like during every interview, how close they are to one another and holding on to each other because, like she said, they're taking it second by second right now. And it's good to have someone. I know when I lost my mom, I thank God for my husband. Okay. I thank God for my husband. My kids were so young. I had just had my baby 4 days before my mom passed away. And for one, I thank God for God because He literally carried me through that season. It felt like I was in His hand. I don't see how I did not lose my mind or could not speak or anything like that or fall into a huge depression only by the grace of God. And so I thank Him first for helping me through one of the most challenging deaths of my entire life. I've never had to deal with that. Me and my mom were best friends. So God is real. And then after that, my husband, with the conversations, and you just want someone to hold you close and, that you could talk to about it and go through the different stages, the anger, the confusion, the questions, and so forth. You need that person. Okay. But someone, it may not necessarily be a husband. Sometimes people have a close friend. Okay. They have another family member, but don't feel like you're by yourself. If you've lost someone or going through grief, God has you first. And then He will surround you with people that will be there along the way. It's not just a one time journey when you lose someone. Grief comes in waves. You never know when it's going to hit you. Sometimes it'll hit you out of nowhere. And you need that person that you can call. I know me and Shelly, we share that unfortunate bond as far as the loss of our moms. That part is unfortunate, but we share a strong bond. Like we know to talk to each other when we're having a moment about our moms, because we understand. It may not be the same mom or anything like that. We all have different relationships, so no one can quite understand your pain, but we can show empathy and we kind of have similar emotions when it comes to the loss of a mom or someone. Christine may find herself someone who's lost a son or a child. Roger said a mother that bonded with her seed from the womb to be taken by ravens. I pray for the wrath of God to come in like a flood and pray for the peace of that family. Yes. Hey, Wendy, she said, I missed the live, catching up now. I feel like all of this was planned. And if the people Nolan went with didn't do it, someone on the island did, and it was planned. Ooh. Okay. Shelly said, I was lost for years and still healing. Okay. And you're doing great. God is definitely with you, sis. We lost our dad this January. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Kayla. And we're still grieving. I can't even begin to imagine the pain of losing a child. Right, right. Unity and love for each other as a people. My condolences to the family. Exactly. Hi, Paula. She said, Amen. God is definitely there. I lost my son and nephew in a car accident. Oh, I'm so sorry. And didn't find out till 2 weeks later. So I know God is definitely there and will never leave you. Amen. Wow, 2 weeks. That is so hard, Paula. I'm so sorry to hear that. I definitely teach my boys how to be a support to women in times of grief. I noticed a lot of young men don't know how from my experience. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Even, with his dad, you could tell that he wants to break down even during some of those interviews, and he's trying to be strong, probably for himself, they're in front of the public, and then for his wife and family. But some men don't know how to grieve. They've been taught being a tough, big and bad. You're not supposed to be crying. That's weak. But do you know Jesus felt? Okay. He feels the pain. He knew what those women were going through at the loss of their brother Lazarus. So he felt in the moment their hurt, anguish, their grief, and all of that. So if he is the greatest example for us all, he shows that you are not weak by any means. That is a human emotion. So yes, pain of outliving your kid is unbearable. Dying with your child, still being a cold case is worse. Oh, I know. Right, Pilot Trey? I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, prayers for strength and comfort for all of us. Amen. Amen. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you all so much for joining. Shout out to the mods in the building. I appreciate it. And to the members that are lit up in green, thank you so much for tapping in. And special thanks to all the sponsors. Make sure y'all hype up the video. Thank you, Hinata. She says sorry for your loss and those in mourning, and have any answers still to this day. Keep fighting and don't lose hope. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hit that like button. Also subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.